I just bought an L-shaped desk 2 weeks ago. I could tell you all about it. Yeah, so I mean, my desk for everything all in was $700 bucks. It was like, with shipping and everything, was like $720. Yeah, that's what I did. I bought the base and the tops.
This is your boy Double A. We out here blowing up, exploding, surviving, and thriving, baby. Another
Is it doing that shit where you guys can hear the music again? Motherfucker! Dude, that is so annoying. No, because then all the clips, you're gonna be able to hear all the clips. Oh my fucking god, dude. How did I spell it wrong? Oh, yeah, there we go. I fixed it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Talk about, man.
Yeah, we do a lot.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot this week.
I'm returning from COVID, dude, as well. Feeling better.
I'm so glad you're feeling better, man.
That shit was fucking scary.
I should have knocked your ass out before your fucking taser yesterday.
Oh, then the police would have come with ARs. You don't want to.
Oh yeah. No, I want to start a prison riot. The only thing is, I'm scared to serve my parole. That's the only reason I haven't started.
Because if you start a riot, you'll go, like, you'll probably triple your time.
Yeah, that's why I'm not, like, trust me, I'm gonna start a prison riot. When my parole is over, and I go in, trust me, I'm definitely starting a prison riot. Oh yeah, you're gonna be the first one that you're gonna be the first victim too,
man. I literally can't
open up the bank account, looking like a treasure chest. Top of the game, easy clap, there's just
not you.
I can be a killer.
I fucking called it, bro. I literally.
Now just get out of my way. End up is where I will stay. Continuously I will slay. Rapping is just how it's played. Skill I will put on display. Flow is an endless buffet. Uzi I will go and spray. Remember my name, Double A. I'm going in and I'm fucking committed. I'm driving to the track and just hit it. The boys got a raise and the bank loot will split it. And all the next job, all my skills all exhibit. Jumping and rolling and bobbing and smoking and popping the cops in the joints I am smoking. And everyone laughing it up while I'm joking. The door off the pop with the laptop I broke it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of the Pixelcast, your home for all things no pixel. I'm your host, Aaron RP. With me this week, we have two special guests, Flo Mcnasty and Dunrunnin. Our main topic this week will be at the end, but that is the 3.5 update coming out tomorrow, what we hope is going to be on it, and the possibility of a hardcore server. First up, we're going to go around the horn, have everyone introduce themselves. Just give us your name, the character you play, and where people can find you. And we'll go around and talk about your week afterwards. So we will start with No Illusions. What's up, man? Near me.
No Illusions. I play Bobby Beats. I play Megaphone. Paw. Wait, where's his voice at? Hold on. Let me get that right.
No, nope. That's not it. That is not it.
It's on there somewhere. Anyway, yeah, I play Megaphone. Produce DMCA free music, blah blah blah, and yeah, I'm probably gonna kill Bobby one of these days. That's about it. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Next up, Zydero. What's up?
Yo, what up? I'm Zydero. I make music. I used to play Oswald Tinkerman, and then I decided to throw my career away. Now I play Cameron Shaw, and I'm a prison guard that Cloudy likes to fuck with. It's a great, horrible existence that I keep living. And every single time that people are like, oh, just go outside and stop role-playing in the prison, the life I live is not a life worth living, so I don't really know what else to do. I'm on Spotify and SoundCloud.
Yeah, sorry about the background music. I'll fix that. As Cloudy DL is introducing himself. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? It's Cloudy DL. I play Scotty the IT guy and Lenny, which is my GSF character, which I haven't played, but I'm probably gonna start playing here soon, actually.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, I really want to get into the South Side stuff since Scotty's more of a North Side crew anyway. So but yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/CloudyDL. And yeah.
Small hands.
Screw you, man. I don't have a small hand.
Get the goddamn emo made, man.
I have man hands. I hate you all. I hate you.
You have like mannequin hands.
All right.
Mother.
Baby man.
I assume you're done. Up next, we're going to have the man himself, Dunrunnin. How you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm Dunrunnin. You can find me at twitch.tv/Dunrunnin. Well, I play characters like Thomas Dwayne, Targar, Bloodfade, Mr. Rollins, and a long list of other characters, man. I love to do voices and I swap it up all the time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Miss
And
Dwayne.
up next, Flo Mcnasty. How you doing, man?
Hey man, thanks for having me. I'm Flo Mcnasty. Find me at twitch.tv/FloMcNasty_TV. Unfortunately, somebody has the original Flo Mcnasty, but I'm working on it.
Those
I'll
sons of
sell it to
bitches.
you, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was squatting it right now.
I played Dick Chicklets, race car driver, runner-up champ, 1995, one state over, and I play a few other characters. I have an EMS character named William Clubb, and then I have a brand new Southside character named Lil Sponge, and he's a he's a meme rapper, and he talks like this, girl, and he basically writes music that doesn't say anything but skirt and
I love that.
Oh, that's great.
That's
I
amazing.
can't wait to hear your hit single, man.
That's like that.
All you have to do
Oh,
is
yeah.
do the same chorus over and over again, and you're basically.
Well, no,
Lil Cap.
yeah. Oh, okay, I was about to make it. Damn it. All right. Speaking of Little Cap, JH in the building. How's it going, man?
Yo, I'm JH. Play Lil Cap. Bro, that's pretty much it. Honestly, I make music, and no one cares about me anymore.
Where can people find you?
And you rap good.
Twitch.tv/JH.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool that you got rid of the 5. That's cool. At least
Yeah,
you know
fuck the
someone.
5.
At
Yeah.
least someone in here got their Twitch name. You know?
Yeah, that's
I'm
nice.
trying to switch it to J, but some dude is still like I'm legit trying to force this man to lose J.
Yo,
Okay, throw him some money.
fucking,
Throw him some money, man.
3-letter names.
No, he doesn't
anymore.
want money. He wants J.
Well, then
have
you're
did
fucked,
you guys
man.
see-
He got it first. I don't know what to tell you.
Did you see that Ash on Law got Ash? Like
Oh.
TV/Ash.
But that's Ash though. That's Ash though. You know.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
just saying anything's possible, bro.
I didn't even.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe if you were if
okay.
you were a cute British girl, maybe you might have a little pull,
not British,
but
though.
She's not British.
Well, you know what I mean. Whatever. All right. So,
A big difference, bro.
how was your? Oh, I didn't do myself. Hello, my name is Aaron RP. You can find me at twitch.tv/Aaron_RP. I play AA. I got some other characters in the works that I'm trying to work in, but honestly, I just haven't had enough time in the server recently due to my IRL life to justify being able to play other characters. With the way NoPixel is right now, it's like you got to put in a certain amount of hours on your character to pay your bills and your asset fees and blah, blah, blah. So it's like I've barely been able to do that on my main. So I'm eventually going to get some more characters in the future. I got them made and everything, but you know, it's just a matter of kind of being able to find the time to squeeze them in. AA's new album just came out last week. It's called The Champ. Go check it out on SoundCloud. But that is me. Let's talk about our weeks. No Illusion. How was your week? In character, out of character. How's it been going for you?
I was banned for 3 days. That's my week.
Hell yeah.
The streak is back.
Yeah, dude, it was that time of the month. You know what I'm saying?
Once a month.
Oh, you were overdue. It was
Every month
overdue.
for 3 months straight. I had one clean month, and then it was like, wait a minute. The universe is like, wait. Something's wrong. Banned.
He's not banned.
You know what I'm
Step
saying?
13 is back to drinking.
Hey, it's that time of the month. Whatever. Other than that, you know, music. I'm working a lot on music. I said this last week. I also reinvested into the stream, so I got some new shit coming for the stream. We're gonna be doing beat battles on my stream, you know, for my music streams and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that. Listening sessions. I don't know. I'm really enjoying. I did my first one last night, and it was a lot of fun to do it. So, you know, my week's been good, and that's what I've been preparing for this week while I was banned. So.
No, yeah.
That's what's up.
Hey, I was gonna ask you. You know, it'd be some really good content. Noel teaches Aaron how to make beats. That sounds like some fun. You know, we can sit down together.
Like I'm about to fire No Illusions with extra steps.
Well, no, it's a segment we could do. Anyways, Zydero, how was your week?
It was decent. Starting to get kind of back in RP. I am Rona free. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you had fucking coronavirus. How was that? You feeling good now?
How was it was amazing. How was it? God, if I could just tell you the amount of feelings it was no, it fucking sucked. What do you think? Dude, it's awful. Fuck that shit, dude. Going an entire fucking week without having like being able to like scream or sing or do fucking anything, dude. Fucking miserable.
This dude is pent up aggression, bro.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Bro,
I'm sorry.
You should listen. You should
Hands
sue
up.
COVID, bro.
I'm smashing you right now through the fucking camera.
I'm gonna call CG's lawyer, bro. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. But like, no, I mean, out of character's been good. Mental health has been kind of on the rise a little bit, which is good. Working on some new stuff. Kind of made the decision to continue doing music on NoPixel on my new character.
Yes.
Different styles.
Finally.
The sad boy shit. I'm gonna have, obviously, because of just how I am, there's always gonna be dark undertones, but it's not gonna be like the generic sad boy shit that Oswald did. But my first.
How would you describe Cameron really quick? Is he like an angry character? Is he a happy character? Is he a neutral? Like
I play him as kind of oblivious. You know what I mean? Where he's like a chaotic neutral. But like mixed with like you can influence him very easily. You know what I mean?
Oh, that is true.
Yeah,
true.
Fucking asshole. But yeah, no, my the first song I'm working on is called Bolingbroke is Cold. So I'm very
Damn. Okay, I like it. You should get a lifer on there. Gotta find a lifer to do a verse.
Yeah, yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah,
dude, get fucking Smoky Sloth. Fucking yeah, Bane would be good, or
Bovice.
Bovice would be fire, dude. That would be sick. Even if all he did was the intro, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know Smokey like that. If anyone here knows him, reach out, dude, and see if he's down.
Hell yeah. Cloudy, how's your week been? In character, out of character?
In character, I've been locked up basically the whole week. So I've got absolutely nothing done because, you know, NAQs be rough out here. And Yeah. So in terms of like prison RP, I haven't really been able to experience the full thing because I'm either sleeping during NAQ or I'm just not able to get into the. So character progression wise hasn't been much. It's still been fun. I've been able to talk to people. I stole Zai's phone, so I have a phone in prison, which you definitely shouldn't have. You know, tweeting out and texting Espinoz and talking shit to Espinoz and having fun with that. Shout out to my boy Hodded. He's a great RPer. Yeah, he's a great RPer. But out of character, pretty good too, man. I have. It's been a little stress here and there, but I mean, life is stressful, is what it is. But it's still been pretty good. I mean, I've been enjoying the growth of the Italian mafia, whether it's good or bad. It's still a lot of people are looking at us as a serious group, especially considering we got raided and we're still holding strong and gaining members and stuff like that. It's been good, man. The RP has been phenomenal, and you know, the thing with Cap, you know. I'll let him explain what happened to him, but now there's gonna be even more RP coming, so it's gonna be fun, man. I get out tomorrow night, so.
Nice,
yeah, free Scotty, man.
All right.
Hell yeah! Hope you can get in and have a good day back. That'll be fun.
I appreciate it, man. Hell yeah.
All right, Dunrunnin. How's your week been? In character, out of character?
Man, in character, it's been awesome. Reached a milestone that I didn't know I could ever do, but I became a thermite god. Apparently.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
You're my
Time to call up Thomas, man. Time to call up Thomas.
Thermite god. I'm colorblind, monochromatic, so I can't hack. I've been trying to find my place, like, you know, in a heist setting. I can kind of try, but recently been having like lagging issues on the server.
Everyone has.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
people,
everybody
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought thermite might be it, man. I've been doing, you know, 24/7s nonstop, and we did our first fleek with me doing thermite, 6 out of 7, and then yesterday I didn't miss a single one, man. Felt great.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Out of character, man, my ADHD's running rampant. I've got like 6 projects that I've started. And I don't know which one I want to finish.
Yep.
Flo and I are playing D&D every week, and that's been awesome. Like,
Oh, hell yeah. Is that a streamed thing? Or are y'all just playing it?
Maybe in the future. Right now, we've been playing it like, you know, just quietly between ourselves and friends. Just
Hell
enjoying it.
yeah. Hell
How
yeah.
long is that?
I'm super. Yeah, I have been playing D&D. I'm very into that shit. I've been doing that for many, many, many years. So, hey, if you fucking have a spot at that table, hit me up.
Yeah.
Same.
Flo Mcnasty, how you doing? How was your week? In character, out of character? How you been?
Well, I guess I'll start out of character. This week, my wife thinks potentially she might be going into labor, you know, so I'm going to be having a little baby, and we don't know the gender, so it's going to be a nice surprise.
Congrats, man.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, it's exciting, but in character, I mean, it's been tough for Dick Chicklets because, similar to, you know, Thomas Dwayne, he's kind of been searching. You know, like back in the day, we used to hit a lot of banks, so Dick right then and there made a decision that he would be a driver. So I've been working a lot on my driving skills, and I'm becoming pretty cracked is the word I like to use. I'm getting very good, and I'm practicing a lot. And but however, that kind of storyline for Dick, you know, while I can keep working on that, I'm looking for another main storyline. So I like to like force things somehow sometimes. So out of character, I made a call last night to another gang because, as you may or may not know, Dick runs with the stable. And I made a call off stream last night, hoping that off stream call leaks somewhere into a new storyline back on stream with me and all my friends. So I'm hoping that if you're a fan of Dick Chicklets, things will hopefully leak in and it'll create a really fun storyline. But it's been a really great week.
Good,
awesome.
Man. I'm glad to hear it, and congrats, man. Seriously.
Hell yeah.
I've driven with a few different people during jobs, like when they're driving away. Flo is so fucking like in it, man. He's so steady-handed. I wouldn't say calm. He's not calm, but
Definitely not.
He's in it, man. When he and I are in the car, call outs, driving, he gets away. It feels like 100% of the time.
I like that, man.
Good.
The last time I rode in a car with Flo, we crashed and almost got hit by cars for 20 minutes.
True, he's a shit driver. Shit driver.
Literally
Oh,
awful, bro.
Oh, out of
This guy is
anybody that's
fucking-
talking cap is talking. Oh my gosh. Let me get on you real quick, Jay. I
Bro,
Get
isn't
on
it
you
my
real quick,
fucking
man.
turn to fucking talk about
Yeah.
my week and here you are
Jay,
talking my
hey,
week.
Cloud, here, I'm gonna
Shut
let me
the fuck
mute.
up, Cloudy.
Here, I'm muting Cloudy. There you go,
Thank
Jay.
you.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your week in character and out of character? Just fill us in. Let us know how you doing.
Yo, I'm
Dictatorship.
gonna start with the in character shit, and this is a first on the
Little bitch.
podcast saying that. Holy fuck, what a great time I've been having on the server, man. I have not had this much fun in months on the server, and I just feel so blessed that I've finally found the group that I feel comfortable with running with, and that every day is just a new experience, and I just feel so happy. I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Out of character, bro, it's been blessed. It's been so blessed. Like, I'm going to London soon. I've been just planning the final things for the trip. Just working on music, just grinding for next year right now. Me and Wicked are dropping a collab album next year. So
Ooh.
we've been zoned
gonna
the
be
fuck
fire.
in.
Wait, where's my feature, man?
Fuck you.
Where's Scotty's feature, man?
Hey,
Come
why'd
on,
you
bro.
In the
unmute
trash
it,
where you
dude?
belong.
We got some suspect. Hey, we gotta hit him with the ball withdrawal, man. We gotta have all of us. It's a cipher. Come
Oh
on.
yeah, I forgot to say that also left DBR today and I joined Mandem Records.
You didn't leave yet because I don't know.
over.
You can't
It's over.
leave if nobody knows.
Oh yeah, people know. People
No,
know.
no, you can't leave
Not
until
the
I
right
know.
People know.
bro.
Yeah,
Not the
well,
right
just
people.
wait,
He
bro.
just-
Just wait. Better
leave him
get
alone.
You gotta
around
wait
a
for the
bit
meta
earlier, bro.
unlock.
Better get around a little
Throw
bit
under the
earlier,
bus right
bro.
now.
Listen,
Wait,
we'll
quick.
take care of that. But
I
Raphael,
want to
just
point something
know.
out. I want to point something out. Someone in chat just said, "Does Cloudy still have his voice changer on?" I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
My voice sounds nothing like, bro. All
I don't
who
know.
said that?
Absolutely.
Sounds
What's
like
up,
that.
Yeah, what's good, bruh?
Who said that? I don't even see it. Who said that?
You got to scroll
Y'all
away.
did what we doing, what we doing, bro.
I'm waiting to
fucking
see it.
banning
What we
you.
did? What's good? What's really good, dude?
I'm banning you. Where?
You're not
I
banning
don't see
nobody.
With a
it.
capital F, bro.
Gibbs edits. Fuck you, man. You asshole. You asshole, man. Ban that guy.
Oh, man.
Ban him. Bro.
No.
But yeah, it's been really good on both sides right now, and yeah, life is really good right now. I just feel super blessed.
Awesome,
I'm happy
man.
for you, man.
I'm glad you're really feeling it. For my week, I've had a very good week. Out of character, it has been busy as all hell with my job. We've had a lot of big projects this week, and my second job has been requesting a lot from me as well. So it's been just a lot of fucking just grinding, getting work done. I haven't really had as much time for the server as I've wanted. So I mean, it is what it is. Making good money
What?
at
Can you do
least.
something for
So
me?
yeah, what's up? If you interrupted me
Go ahead,
to
go
say
ahead.
something stupid, I'm
Go
gonna
ahead and
fucking
do,
mute.
just check your chat real quick. Just go ahead and do that for us real quick. Go ahead and
Dude.
stretch for us.
Fuck. Anyways,
I just got scammed.
so yeah, you did.
man.
You're
Clardy, shut the
lucky you
fuck up.
didn't get muted. In
Dictatorship.
character, things have been going really well. Double A kind of found his place in GSF. He kind of came up with his own niche to fill. He's been doing that. He's been making everyone a lot of money, including himself. So things have been going really well there. The album, obviously, the diss track drama, the snitch drama, all of that has been great, very juicy. The Vagos made that very fun and interesting. So shout outs to them. They actually RP'd out some conflict without just shooting, which is something you don't really see too often, which is amazing. So huge shout outs to the Vagos for, having some conflict RP that didn't just immediately end with them blasting us with AK. So that was awesome. Very huge shout out to them. That was great. But yeah, on the flip side, I'm pretty sure I'm kind of like done with music on No Pixel. I've been wanting to do this Christmas album for like a year now. So I'm going to be doing this Christmas album. It's going to be 3 songs. I already have the songs kind of lined up, instrumentals picked out and all that stuff. I know what the songs are going to be about and stuff. So that's going to be coming out December 10th. And then I think after that, I'm kind of done. So,
Why is that?
it's a huge waste of time for me, man. It's like a big time investment, and I get fucking nothing out of it. Like I don't get any plays. I don't get any nothing. Like it's like I'm burning hundreds of hours. I literally may as well go into a dark room with the doors closed and just sit there for 20 hours a week for all the good making music is getting me. So it's like
sitting in the dark making music is my niche. Please don't take that.
It really feels like a huge waste of time for me. It's a massive waste of time for me.
I'd love to touch base on that because I think everybody here, if I'm not wrong, everybody's a streamer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long were we all streaming with no views before
2
you
weeks.
eventually started
3.5 years. 3.5 years.
Yeah, I streamed for 2 full years with 5 viewers, and if that mentality would have stuck with me, I would have quit a long time ago. So maybe I understand. And this is not, it's just motivation from my end. But if you're putting hours into music and not getting plays, maybe you're not getting plays yet. You never know. Your next song could be huge.
I mean, my old music get more plays than my new music by an order of magnitude.
But that's because the music scene in NoPixel has been fucked for a long time, and we all know that.
Yeah, I'm not quitting music forever. I'm just not making music until something changes, right? Like there might be some motivation that makes me start making music again, or maybe some revamp to the music mechanics in the city might make me start making music again. But like, spending dozens of hours for nothing is like, I have way better. I could just be streaming there that time, right? Like, being in the city doing non-music shit or fucking doing one of my jobs, right? Like I could be out there fucking making money in that time. So
here's the thing, though, and this is something I noticed towards the end of Oswald, is when Tommy T and all that stuff started blowing up, you know what I mean? I feel like NoPixel settled into a genre for what people want from the Service RP, and then P Money came along, and he was a part of that genre already. So, I mean, obviously P Money's P Money, he's already mad.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
in terms of like, people like myself, Saint Noel, and Noel's fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like people, because CG influence as well, like that's the music that's a lot of the big streamers listen to on their streams. You know what I mean? I feel like because you're not really fitting into that puzzle piece right now, that's probably affecting it in some way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I think I just don't really fit the meta of music on the server right now.
I literally used to say that you were like the best artist on NoPixel. Like, because I always held Aaron to like the highest standard whenever I would listen to his stuff. Like his song "I'm in Love with the Thought" or whatever the fuck was like, song structure wise was fucking genius. It was no one
you
had.
do have a lot of cross.
Like your song structure was amazing.
Yeah. I
Like,
think what we're all saying is
him and Cap.
He was
We enjoy your
no,
music.
yeah, that was a No Illusions beat too. That was a Bobby beat.
The beat was
It was really fucking good. And then Jay's music is the only reason why I'm in NoPixel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Jay's sick.
Thank you.
Just kidding.
Oh shit!
I had a feeling that was coming.
Got him.
Either way, fuck y'all, motherfuckers. This was me. No, but honestly, before we move on, I just want to say I remember when I wrote Rex to Riches. This was like before the big boom. I remember I just woke up after the Wu-Chang opening, and like Sky's the Limit and Rex to Riches had gone from like 10,000 streams to like 70,000 each overnight. I just remember. But when I made Rex to Riches, I remember I was like, yeah, this is a shit track. I never liked Rex to Riches. I've never liked that song.
I remember you showing me that and telling me like, I don't even know if I want to release this, and you're like, I don't like it. And you weren't sure about it.
I don't like Sky's the Limit. I don't like Rex to Riches. In my opinion, not only is the track's shit, but it's just not me. It's not who I am. It's not what I want to make. Like, if you listen to the music I make now, for an example, where it's just more technical shit, more lyrical shit, stories, I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna just tell stories from my life. People will still relate to it. People related to Rex to Riches and Sky's the Limit. And people will relate to the stories I have to tell for real, because I have no stories to tell from NoPixel anymore.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and it's been performing so much better now. Like after big bands, like that was my second peak. But I remember when Rags the Richest Rapper, I hated it. I just didn't know that that was a song that would put me in the position I am today.
Yeah. So let
It
me
also
ask you
put me
about
in
that
the
then, because
position that I am today as
that's
well.
kind of a conundrum I'm in right now. You said that you don't mind writing songs that kind of relate more to you out of character than in character. And that's something that I'm kind of bumping against right now, because in my Christmas album, one of the songs that I want to do, or that I'm planning on doing, is kind of focused on, not having a family to spend Christmas with anymore, right? And like that feeling of kind of like emptiness and like not having anyone to be around. It's kind of like a more sad, like depressing Christmas song almost. But like that isn't Double A doesn't have that issue at all, right? Like he very much has family to be around. He has people to be with. Like he has a very different dynamic of the people that he's around than I do out of character. So for me, it's hard for me to, like, I guess, feel comfortable with making a song like that doesn't necessarily correlate with my in character feelings. What's your opinion on that? Do you think I should just do it anyways?
Can I touch on that? Yeah. I think artists. My bad. I think artists.
No, you're good.
Do that for their fans. Like artists will make songs for them. Sometimes it's not of them, but it's like you're speaking for them. So like, how many people are going to be spending Christmas alone that aren't in the city necessarily, just anywhere in the world, that could hear that song and be like, "That's me." You know what I mean? So you got to look at it like that. Like you're making music for those people.
So is that my in character justification? Is that like,
I mean, that's what real
Double A is making the music for people?
Do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. There is such a stigma, right, in the music scene about making shit about, just your character and only about your character. And I'm just gonna say flat out, there's only one person in the entirety of the music scene that actually gives a fuck about that. Make music how you want to make music. That's what I did. I mean, fucking a lot of my music that I released on Oswald has IRL inspirations, but told through Oswald and how I thought my character would handle it. You know what I mean? I don't have to fucking reference different characters in different places and no Pixel to get a good song across, because at that point you're not being true to yourself. If you're making music and you're following a blueprint, then you're fucking doing it wrong, in my opinion, and you should make whatever you want to make. If something doesn't make sense and you don't want to fucking reference the city nonstop, then fuck it. Who gives a fuck about people's opinions? Good music comes from being true to yourself. Fuck anybody that disagrees with that.
100%.
All right. So honestly, I stopped giving a fuck just after a while, honestly, bro, because I wasn't happy with the music I was making. It's fun, but it's not rewarding for me. When I look at my like Spotify, for an example, you see your monthly listeners. Like those numbers, they're not on the server. Maybe a few hundreds, but the rest of the thousands of people that listens to me on a monthly basis, they're not on the server. So, are you gonna focus on making music exclusive for the server and like for me, music is what I want to do, so I gotta think about, okay, how am I supposed to entertain a server and people at the same time? So why don't I make it a bit more, I don't know, between the lines, that I don't really like name drop people and this and that, but I tell stories from the past. This might as well just be a part of my character's backstory either way. So how can it be like proved in game that, oh, this isn't true, this is blah. So so like it applies to both sides, and it's worked out for me, and I just enjoy telling my stories because it's from experience. And for an example, like when I drop Those Days, I know Ash just loved that song, and she keeps on reminding me like every day, oh, that song just really applies to me, it's so relatable. And she just thought it was like an in character song until I told her, I was like on like Discord, I was like, nah, this is like about me. This is what I deal with. And she was like, I understand now. It's still like it applies to people on the server still. And I keep on hearing that about a lot of songs that I've dropped. And it means a lot hearing that from people on the server that it's still accepted. Because I felt a bit stressed about that for a long time.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, that's some good insight. Thank you. I appreciate that. But we don't need to spend forever talking about it.
The coolest thing about that, though, I'll just end it on this. I think the coolest thing about that, though, is like seeing the city influence and people coming to your shows, but then again, people DMing you on Discord and Twitter of photos and videos of them listening to your music in their car or at parties or at stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like Jay, you had that incident where someone was talking about you at a bar.
Oh yeah, I actually walked into a club and they were playing big bands last week.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? It's so cool that like this shit is bleeding out into the real world.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
crazy.
mean? From a business standpoint as well, because Cap and I are the same, where we want to do music full time. You know, like have this career thing. We have to think about that as well, more than just role play.
Yep.
So I'm not a musician, but you guys mind if I put my 2 cents in?
Yeah, please, absolutely.
All right. So as a creative person, man, I think creators, whether it's music, artists, et cetera, whatever, you get very stressed out about everything because you're your biggest critic, right?
Right.
In 2.0 for No Pixel, there was a lack of villains on the server, and I wanted to be a villain. Everybody was a criminal, but no one was a villain. No one hurt people, manipulated people, did all that jazz. So I did that. Loved it. I can tell you a bunch of communities loved it. I ended up hating it. I hated logging into my character. I hated doing all that shit because I was so tired of doing it. It wasn't what my heart was behind any longer. It was, I felt like it was every day, same old kind of thing. And then I had to change it up and just do what was more for me. Like, you just have to be selfish sometimes, even when you're creating shit. You just have to be selfish and do it for yourself, not for anyone else. So if you don't want to make music, for the server, and that's not where your heart is, I say don't do it. But I'm sure there's ways you can find what you're looking for, like to actually get back into like the passion. And it's not gone. You're just you're just too concerned with outside influences, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, well, hey, thank you guys. I appreciate that. But let's get right into the next segment. We're gonna do in-character news / clip review. Though I think those 2 segments are basically just the same segment now. Yeah, they used to be different segments, but now it makes more sense if we're going to talk about something that happened in character. May as well just watch the clip about it, right? And then talk about it. So we'll go through.
A lot happened this week.
Yes, we got buku clips loaded up. And I feel like this isn't even really scratching the surface. I mean, there's a lot
more, but I can only do so much, but I try to go through as many clips as I can. And
there's a lot that happened this week. So.
Oh, this one's good.
Let me make sure it looks good. Let me hide the names. All right. Okay. You guys should be able to. You guys should be able to hear this through the screen share.
Okay.
Hey, yeah. Coming now. You guys can come in now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Copy. Coming in. Actually, hold. Get close. So. Come in. Hey, is that for me? BCSO, freeze! Freeze! BCSO!
Put your
freeze!
hands in the air now!
Freeze!
Put your goddamn hands in the air
freeze now! Let me see your hands. Yeah. Coming now.
That's literally what they did to me.
Do you know what my favorite? Do you want to know what my favorite part about this clip is? That the dude actually just put his hands up and turned himself in after he got caught. Like he didn't even try to turn and run or like pull a gun or anything. He just fucking
He was shocked.
I love that about this clip. The guy's just like, you know what? You could take that dub. You earned it.
I love Penta, man.
Does anyone know who that guy that got caught was?
I do not know.
No idea.
Well, like for me, like I mean, there's different ways that could be interpreted. Number one, he could be like, "Hey, great job! I'll put my hands up." Like, awesome sting. Number one, but I remember when I started on the server, I struggled with knowing what I probably could do or couldn't do. Like, for example, am I putting my hands up because I have 2 officers with tasers on me, and if I run, is that like almost like a subcategory of NVL, even though it's not? You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
could be a new guy getting into Oxy and not knowing how to respond, or it could be just somebody going, "All right, you got me, great work."
Yeah.
I'm
Yep,
still
that's
like that to
good
this
point.
day, bro. I'm very careful when it comes to more cops on you, and if it's just you, I usually don't drive. I drive from felony stops now because shift 3 because I'm scared of them. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. Shift 3 beyond one, man. They
bro,
raid
after
you
all
for-
these raids, and if I hear a helicopter now, I start
PTSD, man.
Yeah.
Bro, it's just
I'm almost in that same boat now after what happened on the set the other day. But
yeah,
all
man.
right.
I like it though. That's how criminals should be though. They should be scared of the cops. That's why I personally like Shift 3, man. They put some fear into the criminals. They really do.
I
Yep.
love cops doing that kind of shit though, like what Pinto
Yeah.
just did as Wrangler.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's great. I love it when they do
That's
that.
an actual like undercover cop car, by the way. It has lights and shit. I got the
Yeah.
meta unlock on that from fucking Chatterbox, because Chatterbox stole it and then drove it to Burger Shop.
But like that kind of stuff is like I feel like that can improve roleplay because you can just start rolling up on people and do like a little undercover sting op on a person who's doing Oxy, or person who's like slinging meth, shit like that. I feel like I've seen cops just roll in with lights on more than the subtle undercover stuff, right? And I love that. It's like a different breed of its own sometimes.
Yep. And the thing about a sting like that is that they don't need to do it to everyone. Just doing it to a couple of people creates a narrative, and it makes people more on edge. So, Oxy's one of those things where a lot of people just fucking just like like don't really think about it. They just go on autopilot. It's like a kind of a brainless thing, and they don't really like care. But whenever the narrative starts going around that, undercover cops roll up like Oxy sales, now all of a sudden everyone's paranoid. They're looking around corners. They're bringing extra people with them. It creates a lot more RP by having these people be more paranoid about it. And all it takes is just a couple instances of that to make that word spread and to create a narrative. And then it kind of changes how the entire dynamic of the crime happens. So, I think it's really important for things like that to happen occasionally to kind of keep people on edge and keep them from getting too complacent with certain things.
Flip side of that, I wish criminals would do more stuff than just black out and deal shit and sling things.
Yeah, I hate the blacking out
100%.
shit, bro.
For like Flo and I in our group, we go out with stupid ass stories like we were slinging meth, but we were saying that we were selling tacos.
Yeah.
Or we were like giving away Halloween candy during Halloween. It was really meth. Like that kind of shit. And it's easier for them to ID you. Like cops can ID you easier. They can build up like cases and then investigations. And that's kind of like the give and take of criminal to cop role play. If you just black out all the time, you're not really giving much of anything.
Yeah, well, you also have to think about it in the sense that by taking the less optimal choice, you're putting kind of the control of the narrative into the cop's hands. Because a cop could roll up to you selling tacos, say, "You're selling meth. I know you're lying. I got the ping for it. Here's my drug dog. He's smelling you. Oh, I got the alert that you have drugs. I'm arresting you now. Now you're getting raided," right? Like the cop could absolutely just roll up and just do that, right? Like the control is entirely in their hands.
told the mafia stories in 2 weeks, bro.
But so I think by showing your hand, by saying like, "Look, I'm clearly not doing an optimal strategy," respond. Giving the cops that room to respond in the way that they want to, I think gives them the freedom to not necessarily have to go super optimal like that. And it can create a little bit more of a back and forth and a little bit more of a storyline. Because when you go super optimal, the cops don't have any choice but to, right? When you're blacked out, when you're on a bike, when you're moving around constantly from spot to spot, like the cops don't have anything else to go on other than just tase you and cuff you, right? Like at that point, they kind of have to go that route because there's no other room in the narrative for them to do anything. But when you give them that room, it.
Sorry, I thought you were all finished there.
No, I'm done. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd love to touch base on like cop giving the role play back. Back in the day, we robbed a bank under the name Vault Tech, and we were doing a penetration test. And what we did was we developed like real websites like Fleeka.money and VaultTech.services. They're still up. You can look at them. And basically it was like full websites. We posted like we were shutting down the bank. We called the cops and said, "Hey, we're doing this." They all showed up and let us go, to the point where we had a meeting with the police and said, hey, we have to do this now at Polito Bank, and we had an escort. We had 2 police in front of us, 2 police behind us to drive us to the bank, to rob the bank in front of them, to escort the money back to a helicopter, which we flew away. And having the police clearly know that we're robbing the bank, but give us that role play was like really, really cool on their end, right?
Yep.
That's awesome, man. That's the stuff I love. I remember, you know, like playing back in 2.0, and that was like kind of the big thing about bank robberies instead of how it is kind of right now, which I'm hoping, you know, obviously everything might change tomorrow, but everybody was, you know, they were dressing up in silly costumes and doing this, like, you know, basically they weren't giving a shit about the money from the bank, but more the role play and stuff about it. That's why for one, like, I don't really, the banks right now, the meta, like how you basically cops almost don't get alerted to fleekas. It's not for me because it's like kind of just like hit and dip. I mean, some people could stay, but you know, most people are, I guess it kind of depends on the role players too, though. But yeah, man, back in 2.0, like basically what you said, I remember just people doing silly stuff and shenanigans and stuff like that for the bank robberies instead of really caring about the money, man. I miss that. I miss the little silly gimmicks where like people would dress up as like 4 aliens and they would have like an alien backstory and do all this and that for like a bank robbery, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the downside to banks having such a big buy-in, right? Is that right now to rob a Fleeka, it's what, like fucking 6 thermite or some shit, and it's like
so you're too exhausted when you're actually in there.
Like, look, we've scienced it, and like I don't want to like drop meta here, but we scienced it the other day for the first time because we've been avoiding banks. We didn't want to fuck with it because we like, man, it's so expensive to get into it, right?
Yeah.
So just for us to like learn it, even with someone like kind of guiding us. It cost us $71,000 or some shit, and we only got $71,000 out of the Fleeka. So like it's
jeez,
you almost bank on it has to be a success. So it makes it harder to actually
because like God forbid you do one of these creative plans, like, oh, we're going in as bug stars and we're, you know, doing we're cleaning out the bank or whatever, and then the cops are like, yeah, whatever, you're not bug stars, we're arresting you now. Well, like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, well, I should have just blacked out and fucking, you know, used 3 bikes in a rap plan. Like, now I feel stupid for trying to do a storyline out of this. I just lost fucking $70,000.
The thing with Fleekas, I've done probably 10 of them the last week. I've been on the bank bus and shit. Fleekas are pretty much just gateways for Politos these days, bro. And you might as well just buy a blue dongle for 50K instead. Like, honestly, it's 50K for a blue, but it's like 70K for a green. And it's just so stupid. It's just a waste of time. Like, I have fallen asleep 3 times during the setup. Because you're trying to like find all these boxes, bro. It's so, oh my god, bro.
Or you set up, we set up last night. We hit all the thermites. We did everything. We walk into the bank with a hostage. We're in the back thermiting the fucking gate. And there comes Chang Gang with 6 people, and they stole the bank.
I saw that.
I saw that.
It was awesome because it created like this whole scenario and stuff. But yeah, like at that point, like why don't you just wait for another crew? Why don't we just drive around, wait for an explosion, and then just rob that crew of their bank? Right?
Exactly.
It's one of those things that like I don't like that moment confused me because I've been playing since 2.0. And I very clearly remember there being a rule that was like, hey, no third partying. You know, if a criminal group was robbing, actually, I can use an example. In 2.0, the Balas were robbing the jewelry store, right? They took a hostage from Lock Q. Lock Q had Steel Security. I don't know if any of you guys were like, you know.
I remember that.
Yep. So Steel Security goes there to save the hostage, and they get involved, and they start shooting at the Balas in as the cops are arriving and everything else. And then there was like a wave of bans, and it's because like, don't third party. But then I looked at the rules last night, and there's no rules that say don't third party. And now I'm just like, shit, can I just go around and rob banks from other robbers now? Fuck that. I ain't gonna do a bank. I'm gonna rob the robbers.
I think it's ever since I mean CG took the vault from GG that's kind of been that precedent, right? That people are kind of robbing the robbers now, which is like I don't know. I mean, like Flo said, I mean it has its perks in terms of RP. but it does. It can suck at the end of the day because of the meta for Fleekas, right? Like
it can cause such a weird spot because like
yeah,
robbed by Flippy and CG, and Flippy's our Thermite, connect. So he robbed his customer who bought Thermite from him to bust the bank, and so now we don't want to buy Thermite. But who the fuck are we gonna go to go buy Thermite? At such a cheap rate now. So like, if we go back, we have to deal with the fallout of that business deal and that connection. It's like the kind of give and take scenario things. Like, do we fuck ourselves more, or do we just keep moving? But it creates such good role play, like that conflict does.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, what's this next?
All right, yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
Almost there, but you want context real quick before we?
Yeah, what is the context behind this one?
Is this you, Matt, by the way?
Yeah, this is you, Matt. Yeah.
Hell yeah, I love you, Matt.
Context is apparently the Vagos got caught robbing the Marabunta's houses. Some shit talk ensued, and then apparently I don't know if they're into a full-blown war. I've heard that they're into a beef, and I've heard that they're into a war. I don't know the whole context behind that, but yeah, this is basically ensuing from them robbing the Marabunta's house.
I'm almost there, but I'm really.
Down, no down, no down, no down.
Good shit!
Guy, rub their asses.
Hell yeah, Vato.
Guy, everyone, yes, rub these cockroaches.
You bad as a crack shot.
Cockroaches.
I love Sergio, dude.
Dude, I love the Marabuntas because they just give no fucks, and it's
dude,
great.
and they're 100%. So good. Like, so, I'll comment after this.
Go.
I'm almost there, but I'm really.
Down, no down.
So to show just how like crazy they are, the Lost and Marabunta were really close, right? And I assume they still are. But whenever we went in their area, we didn't know they ran every street. You know what I mean? Bro, even as allies, they didn't like rob us, bro, dude. Like, I have never been so scared of an organization as a criminal in my entire life, dude. Sergio is so fucking intimidating, and it's like the polar opposite, like out of character. If you talk to him like out of character and watch his stream, he's like the chillest. Like,
such a positive guy.
He really is, dude. But they're so good at what they do that they're so under wraps because people forget they exist because they stick to themselves, much like the Lost, and just nothing but love and respect to the Marabuntas for like just all the insane RP.
I feel the exact same way. They're really good. Like, we went through a storyline with them where they kidnapped me, called my in-game, like my Dick Chicklet's wife, and had her come, and they lit her on fire right in front of me. And like, that kind of stuff is like, it's really crazy, but
yeah,
like, and then I ended up, I went into his stream after, and I was chatting with him, and he was, it's great when you hear stuff coming back, like, like your community actually came over here and showed a bunch of love, right? Rather than them going over there and malding, which normally happens in
yeah, I wish that happened more often. Like, I really hate that conflict makes the communities lash out at each other and makes streamers lash out at each other, OC and stuff. Like, I really hate how that happens. It's always so disappointing.
Touching on that, like, it's such a weird thing because I feel like if you run a very like tight ship, like for your chat, and you don't allow backseating, you don't really allow like any comments that could even be misconstrued as toxic, it feels like you are shooting yourself in the foot as a streamer, like for your growth, right? Yeah. It feels like the moment someone gets clapped back with "Don't say that shit here in my channel," they'll just be like, "Oh, fuck this, I ain't staying here then," right? I can't tell you how many people I've had come in and be like regulars for a week, and then they start backseating because they're getting comfortable. And I don't let that shit fly. I hate toxicity in my chat. I hate when people talk bad about characters in my chat. I hate when people backseat and tell me, I time you out, I ban you. I don't give a shit if you put 100 messages in my chat and been a sub for 3 years. I'm gonna bounce you out.
That's how it should be, bro. It makes the whole community as a whole just in a healthier state, right? When you get your community on lock and make sure nobody's talking shit about even like people's characters, it just makes the community a lot more healthier.
I think you grow slower, but you grow the right way. You'll still grow. You're not gonna grow as fast overnight, but you'll grow your community the right way, and in the future it'll be a lot more positive because of it.
Yep. I get that all the time where people like I try to put a stop to it for the most part. Especially like I'm cool with people like judging other characters or talking
Yeah.
about it. But when
Yeah.
it becomes like a little toxic, I always say it. I'll always say something, and a lot of people will actually say, "Oh, so I'm not allowed to have an opinion about another character."
I've seen that so much.
I hate that.
That's
People
not what
do
it's
this.
about. It's
People do this shit that drives me nuts, and streamers do it a lot too. Where they'll say something that's clearly out of character criticism of someone, but they'll use the character's name in the statement. They'll be like, "Oh, fucking Thomas Dwayne is such a salty douchebag," right? And it's like, clearly I'm talking about you. It's like, clearly I'm talking about you out of character, but because I said the character's name, they try to make, I'm just talking about the character, right?
backhanded
Like they
comment.
have that defensive fallback to. Chatters do that all the time. Other streamers do it all the time. I hate that. Like, that's why I always try to make a very clear distinction between me and my character. It's why I always refer to my character in the third person. Whenever I think about decision I'm making, I say, "Oh, well, Double A did this because of that." You know, like I don't say I did this because of that. I say, you know, my character did this because of that. I try to make that clear separation because I really hate how people do that backhanded kind of shit talking.
That brings
drives
me
me nuts.
to another topic as well, man. Characters are separate from streamers. A lot of people don't get this, man. That our characters are not us IRL, man. I'm not like Sergio is like perfect example. Sergio is not, you know, you mad. They're completely different people, right? Like it's I've seen so many people also not be able to distinguish characters versus streamers. I'm like, bro, they're not the same.
Well,
it's role play.
And I would also like to say, like, if you get, it's okay to get like upset or like even a little bit mad at characters. Like if a streamer is like example, like with Flo, everyone knows Flo is an amazing role player, right? So if Flo's getting mad at a situation and he's like tipping the ball, everyone should know that he's just mad at the situation and that he wouldn't go on a shit talking of the streamer spree. He's just like, hey, the storyline didn't work out in my favor. This kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's still role play.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say is like at the same time, I say that a lot, like it's only RP, but it's also kind of a cop out in certain ways because you can it's okay to have like an out of character emotion about a situation, just as long as you realize that what you do in character, if it's gonna reflect that emotion because you're playing your character, it has to be done properly and without like an out of character kind of, you know, like revenge or something, you know what I mean?
Genuine organic reaction and not something that's being driven by OOC.
Exactly.
I think Flo, because you're getting to play D&D a lot more recently, and you know, Aaron, you've played D&D. The beauty of like tabletop role playing versus in-game role play is that tabletop is a mixture of like IC and OOC. Like the entire time, you get to sit there and chill with your friends and have like out of character conversations, and then like drop into the role play and then do the actions, right? So you're not constantly in character, leading to a point where your OOC emotions bleed into your in character emotions because you haven't had time to process it as the player rather than as the character, you know. And I think that's like a big thing people miss out on the servers, because I think I'm saying this as openly and like without calling anyone out. I feel like a lot of people end up being very upset at situations, even over minute moments, like over even like small things, just because they feel like it didn't go in their way. And instead of OOC processing it, their IC emotions just rule everything. It bleeds out of character too.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm innocent. I've had my moments of molding and stuff like that. Who left?
I think we all have, man.
Oh,
I think,
Zai
you know,
left?
we're human. I think we all have.
I think Zai had to go.
Wait.
Let me see.
Oh, my internet just died, but I'm back.
Oh no. His internet's fucking up. He'll be back.
Yeah, bro, fucking same. What the fuck?
What? Sorry.
We're all having internet issues. Oh god.
Oh shit. Okay.
I think I'm good. I'm good. I think my internet's good. Yeah, Zai will be back. His internet's being stuffed.
But I mean, I say that knowing that I've also, even though like I can tell the difference of IC and OOC, and I've gotten more and more used to it due to tabletop experience.
Yep.
I still even sometimes like will be so. You know what? Actually, yesterday we robbed the jewelry store, and you know, the server's all fucky. You know, everyone's rubber banding and shit. I stalled out on the getaway, and in my eyes, on my end of the game, I got rammed by Pret. He was going like 200 miles, like your max speed in the Charger, man, and I'm going 20 because I'm stalled. And he hits me and sends me flipping and over, and then they just roll with it. And they're like, all right, well, you guys get the fuck out of the car. In my mind, I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? Honestly, we should have the opportunity to flip the car because it seems like there was some scuff or there was some issues, right?
Yeah.
But there was no room for it. And it's because I feel like there's gotten to a point where shit constantly happens. You just don't know when to roll and when not to roll anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it happens. I think it happens with everybody. I mean,
100%.
Having the cops at that moment, they made the decision right then and there to not allow you to have the decision. So now it's your job to roll with it, which is also valid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, one thing I often like to remind people is that you have to remember that cops aren't admins and they're not the arbiters of the server or the rules. And even though they are technically in a position of power, it shouldn't necessarily be their job to administrate things, especially when scuff comes into play. So that's why, kind of generally speaking, the rule is to just roll with what happens and deal with it afterwards. You know, if you die due to scuff in the middle of a chase, you shouldn't be screaming for the cops to revive you, even though that's technically something they could do, and that's technically something the cops have done in the past. It shouldn't be their job to be that arbiter of what is scuff and what isn't. And sure, sometimes they do kind of do that anyways, but I feel like in my mind that shouldn't necessarily be one of their responsibilities.
Yeah, magnetic cops is a big one.
I agree, but I also disagree to a small extent. I don't believe they have to be the arbiters that like make a lot of decisions, but I look at cops as mini dungeon masters essentially. Like the cops in every criminal interaction usually have the majority of power in their hands to extend the situation, to negotiate, to give people the opportunity to continue what the attempt was going to be, right?
Yeah.
Like as an example, you guys talked about it earlier, optimal versus optimal or role play versus the role play, right? We did the taco meth thing and a bunch of cops came in trying to sting us and they all knew we were slinging meth and they were like, well, we saw you guys handing stuff off to people, but it was hard for them to prove that they actually saw anything. They just saw us, handing something, and we did it in a way that we could cover it up with the sales of tacos and everything. At first they didn't want to roll with it, but then they did. Same scenario is like in the middle of like getaway moments is the way I see it. Like it comes down to the cop as the DM. You kind of want to look at the situation and go, did this go fairly? Not favorably, but was this a fair moment? And then make that call because you have the power to do it as a cop. You shouldn't be the one that has to do it, but you're kind of being put into that position anyways. Because I agree.
Sure, and I think some servers, I think. Play that differently. In some of the servers I've been on in the past, the cops are explicitly mini admins that are like explicitly told to help moderate scuff scenes and when things go poorly, revive people and things like that. Like that's kind of like explicitly part of their job description as cops on that server. On NoPixel, I don't necessarily know too much about how it works behind the scenes. I don't know if those are discussions if they've had in the past or not. So I couldn't really say for sure one way or the other if that's something they're kind of, explicitly told to do or not do or whatever. But all right, let's go ahead and
on the situation.
Yeah. And I think it being up to their discretion is fine, right? Like if they want to do it, then great, and if not, then that's kind of the standard, right?
Yeah, is what it is, I guess.
What's this next clip? What's this?
Oh, that's my boy.
Who gets promoted?
Cadet Louis Bloom,
Moose?
go to the center.
It's Lewis. Let him spin his shit. Don't interrupt him, Thatch.
I'm giving you some French flair. All right, there you go. Anyways,
It's good knowing him.
before we do this announcement, I just want to say that
Fired Art
Louis
would
Bloom,
be funny as hell.
You've been a great addition to the Blaine County Sheriff's Office.
Kind of
Ever since
excited
we
for
hired
Fire
you.
Arc right now.
And on behalf of Sheriff Cal Pred, I would like to extend you an offer of employment with the Blaine County Sheriff's Office.
My man. I accept that shit.
All right, before we continue,
Wait, what if I turned it down?
swear you in. Are you ready, Lewis?
I'm ready. I almost said I'm Lewis. I'm
You
a
are
cop.
Lewis. You are Lewis. Good job.
All
That's
right.
my boy.
Repeat after me.
That's my boy.
I, Lewis Bloom.
I, Lewis.
That's a good clip.
That's awesome. Wholesome.
Very
Yeah.
wholesome. All right, so this one, one of kind of the deeper storylines going on in the city right now is kind of Abdul's corruption. So here we go. This.
Before we play this, I'm gonna mute real quick. My character is connected to people involved, so I don't want to know anything.
Sure, got it.
That's good.
So I picked the hotel.
Abdul,
Yeah.
is there $500,000 of state money in my fucking bank account right now?
Nah, it's 1.3 million.
Oh my god.
In total.
It's the end total.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah. All right, can
Yeah.
someone at Dunn and let them know we're done watching it. The chat. So that's that is happening right now. From my understanding, this is on the public docket now, right? Abdul's corruption case. He's been officially suspended from mayor, right? Can anyone confirm that?
Yeah, I think articles of impeachment was put in place, so he's
that's
impeached.
public, right? Like, so he's publicly impeached. His case is on the public docket, so that's all public knowledge that we know that that corruption has taken place. Pretty crazy storyline. What do you guys think about that storyline so far?
Pretty good. I haven't watched it too much, but from
I
what I've
really
seen
watched it at all.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's been pretty good.
I saw somebody tweet, and I'm not sure. It might have been like Bundy's player. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's
Occam's.
like Ocam. Occam's, yeah. So I think it was him that tweeted at Abdul saying, you know, thank you for at least leaving us breadcrumbs so that we can figure this out, and that's just like a big plus 11 to
100.
Abdul and like the cops, like mainly Abdul, to allow them to be able to investigate it, because he probably could have done it and covered it up some better than he did, but he intentionally left there something to chase there, you know.
Yeah. And what do you guys think about corruption RP like that? Like corrupt cops or corrupt mayors, people abusing positions of power that they are entrusted to kind of get a big advantage, even if it's hard to necessarily catch them doing that. What do you guys think about
I
that?
love it, man.
I love it when it makes sense for a character to do it.
Yeah.
I love it when a character is down bad and the corruption helps them get up good. I don't like seeing characters that are already get up good, established, that have like no reason to be corrupt, right? Because it's just self-sabotage, right? But like Abdul has been down bad, barely making money, constantly having to grind, constantly having to work. You know, Abdul's taxi was working for free. Of course, this is an opportunity to get some actual big money and get your character established. Do it. Corruption, great.
Yeah, I'm all for it. It depends on the person, you know. If the person's doing it and doing it right, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Sure.
It depends on the RP that it brings, you know.
Yeah, it's like Burn, you know, Burn doing his certain styles of RP, you know. It's what Burn does, right? Like, obviously, other players aren't going to be able to do what he does to an extent because Burn's such a great RPer, and I think this is a perfect fit for Abdul and his storyline.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, is that and so I'm going to be kind of devil's advocate as usual on this one. I'm not a fan of people who are in these positions of power being able to kind of take advantage of that, mainly because mechanically speaking, it's very difficult for those actions to be caught, right? You know, if a cop lies on a police report, the chance of that ever being discovered and anything being done about it is very, very, very low. So I think that generally speaking, these acts of corruption that, you know, are virtually untraceable or very difficult to trace. I think that it comes down to the role player to do it right and to leave those breadcrumbs on purpose.
That's what I was gonna say.
And that's why I think that generally speaking, they should be kind of not done unless the person knows that they can do it right. I think just allowing everyone to do it willy-nilly would kind of lead to the situation where, you know, it kind of goes back to that discussion on crime, right? Where if you're doing it optimally, you can only be caught by someone else who's doing something optimally. And at some point, like, the crime you're doing is so hard to catch that it's virtually impossible, right? And it's kind of up to you to manually create some type of weakness to your action that people can exploit to catch you. And if you're not, so it's one of those things that it only kind of the right people can get away with it properly, I feel like.
Well, to add to that, is like if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna be a corrupt character in law enforcement, I feel like I guess a good example was this, like when my character was hiding from a gang, right, and I was the only one in my gang in the city. I was like, all right, I could black out and they'll never know it was me, or I could give them something to go off, right? And that's the kind of the same thing that I feel like if you're a cop that's gonna be corrupt, you definitely got to leave breadcrumbs, like you said. Otherwise, if you just if your tracks are perfectly clean all the time, then that's when shit gets like, it's not RP. You're not creating RP at that point. You're just being corrupt.
Just very powerful, right? Like at the end of the day, like when you're in a position of power on the server, you're given special mechanical benefits that are hard to counter unless you kind of like purposefully leave those openings in place. So that's why I think it should only be done very carefully.
I've got like two points. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a very opinionated motherfucker. So if I talk too much,
this is what we're here for.
Podcast for a reason, baby. Podcast for a reason.
First thing first, I love corruption roleplay, and I love it when it's done in a way that the person can A, get caught, and B, not every single motherfucker does it, and it's not consistently and constant. So like the mayor's office, I would love for us to get the next mayor to be the cleanest, most honest, non-corrupt person, and let that person just run it that way, and let us have that period of just genuine, honesty as a mayor, not having to be worried of any corruption, any weird stuff happening in the back end. And then the next guy or girl to then be the corrupt person or continue the clean thing. Because if everyone is corrupt, you get tired of it, and then you just assume in role play that it's another mayor.
Yeah, exactly. It hits different when it's special or unique, right? Whereas if it happens over and over again, it loses its luster.
Exactly. The second thing, the breadcrumb comment. I love people who leave breadcrumbs. I love people who did that and are willing to do those kind of things because it leads to such great role play. But I will make this comment. Chats, do not forgive people for leaving breadcrumbs. Do one thing where your character is suddenly deemed an idiot and you are never forgiven. It's just like, Thomas Dwayne, he can't be trusted with anything because he'll just get us busted in the end. It's like,
it's like, screw you, Bobby.
Yeah, when realistically it was intentional what you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's great about being perfect? Like that's not fun. Like that doesn't.
Exactly.
100%.
Yep.
Reminds me of my driving.
Okay, buddy. All right.
The slander.
Pat yourself on the back again, man.
I mean, it's like when Lil Cap dropped those shitty songs. I mean, sorry.
Man.
And who are you again?
Okay.
I do want to say this out loud.
Hit him with the Omega.
Knows it. The only reason that anybody can ever say anything about Cap's music is because you're so good. You know what I mean? I just want to make that so clear. Like if somebody says that your music sucks, it's because you're really good.
Bro.
I mean, yeah, your music, yeah. Whoever says
your music's ass. Your music is ass, Cap.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your music actually is ass, though. No, I'm being genuine right now, man. Screw you, Lil Cap. Screw you.
It's appreciated from the bottom of my heart, man.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, fuck you, man.
All right, next clip. So
go on.
These next couple clips are kind of connected. They're about the Kyle Pred getting removed from sheriff by the Senate arc. We'll watch.
Yeah,
we'll watch this first clip, and then I'll let one of you that are more familiar with this, because I didn't get to watch it very much. I'll let one of you who are more familiar with this storyline kind of fill us in on the details, and then we'll go from there.
Just let me serve my time down here.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, set up a timer. I'm not going anywhere.
What?
All right, I'll be relaxing down here. Sitting next to a goddamn turd toilet. Just let me serve my time down.
That is a nasty toilet, man.
That is
one
disgusting.
nasty toilet.
And then the other. So
That's not
this
my
is
career, bro.
This clip actually came before the one we just watched, right? Or did this come after?
Yes.
Everybody's aware there is currently a sheriff election. Me and the other senators just spoke. The position's going to be vacant until the election.
Okay.
What?
The sheriff position's going to be vacant until the election. Kyle Pred can work as a Department of Correction until the election happens.
Wait.
Huh. I mean, do you want him as Department of Correction? Or you want him one of my county clerks? Because I can do that.
To the undersheriff, administratively.
No.
As everybody's aware, there is.
So yeah. So who's familiar with the storyline? Who can kind of fill us in on it? How did this happen?
I think I'm pretty sure Kyle just told him to suck his dick. Honestly,
It was like contempt in court that he got in trouble for, and now since he said some shit that he shouldn't have said, he's getting quote unquote fired from the PD for it. That's where he had his whole like mini arc where he was making what was he making? Look, Cap, he was making like
a pending patent talent agency. That's what he called
talent
it.
agency, yeah, where he's like making movies and trailers and interviews and stuff like that. Where I mean, the arc is still going. The arc has been between him and Sally. We've had Sally, one of our Italian mafia guys, is a part of it, and so is Cap technically, because he quote unquote signed a crayon made contract. The contract's literally scribbled in like crayon. It's
yeah, bro.
So I saw some clips of him like getting his job back, did that not happen? Is he not?
Back.
He is back as sheriff. Is that because he won the election, or they just overturned?
Over with, to be honest.
Okay, so they just overturned the Senate thing.
Yeah.
I do know that like this wasn't even during a court case. I think this was like a Senate meeting. Like they were discussing some things that they perhaps were changing or something. But he, Kyle being Kyle, as Pred, and even as Kyle himself, spoke his damn opinion and spoke it with truth and and no filter, and he got kicked back for it.
Yep.
No.
I mean, that's Kyle though. He's
It is, yeah.
Kyle is a very, very he's a very known wild card. I love it. That was great.
Hanging out with Kyle, playing D&D with Kyle, I learned that, man, it's like whatever chaos can be created, that's the route he's going to take. He's not looking, he's not looking for peace and calm. He's looking for chaos and calamity.
Yeah,
That's
I love
funny.
it too, man. That's awesome.
All right. Up next, what do we got here? This is another person taking the new drug.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
This is a new drug. I don't really know how people react to this.
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
I think you do. Leo, I know you're a cop. You have to say no.
This?
Leo,
his laugh.
I know you're a cop, and you have to pretend.
Oh my god! Ow, what the fuck? Oh Jesus, this doesn't feel good. This was bad. This was really fucked up.
How do you feel?
I could barely see.
Really?
Oh, that sounds like fun. This is.
Yeah? Tell me, how do you feel?
your day better?
Feel good?
This is something bad.
Feel good? Feel great? Yeah, you like it, don't you?
Get it.
That's funny. What do you guys think about this drug so far? I feel like this has created so much OP.
Right.
So good, man.
I would. Is there any possibility we could add one clip? It's actually from my POV, like just an example of what this shit like can actually lead to.
Are you talking about like a clip of where you had the jump scare? You should add that, please.
Oh, with the alien?
Yes, that was a good one.
I was thinking this one on the stage would pass just the pure insanity of it.
Yeah, let me find the alien one too, and I'll that one was really good.
I love
Although
this.
I don't know. Sounded like every rap song of 2020.
That's Lil Sponge. That's a Lil Sponge.
Like it sounds good.
Bro, when I went down, I dropped an excellent and Pesh was in tears for like 10 minutes.
There's another clip that I posted if you don't mind watching it. Is also a jump scare of the drug, the effect of it.
Oh, I get it. Lil Cap, I rapped it the entire time.
Bro, I remember just like
Watching
I
this
did that
is
for
so
3
funny,
minutes.
man.
I did that for 3 minutes, and I just
Oh
had
my
to
God.
contain myself from laughter. It was just like I was so close to breaking down. But this drug, I've been on the addict guard for the past 2 days, to the point where the BBMC now supplies camp with lifetime free methadone.
Has got a
Yeah.
lifetime subscription.
Yeah, bro, it's been so much fun. Just like
Yeah, this is
it's
What the
been
fuck?
madness.
There should be a rental car outside.
the alien literally just stopped.
Bro, that shit scared me for real.
I love how there's like different side effects, like an alien will pop
They're
up
after
behind
me!
the clown.
They're
It's
after
such
me!
It's such a fun RP drug.
Yeah,
I
it
wish there
looks
was
like-
more of them.
Aliens!
2.0 acid and just like started adding a little bit more stuff to it just to have
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
I
It's
love
awesome.
RP influencing things, and it's not a mechanic driven thing, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Because the
true.
drug like actively hurts you. It like deals damage to you and shit. Like it's something
Yeah, it's
clearly you
super
don't.
scuffed right now.
Yeah, it's something
yeah,
you
it is a
clearly
little bit,
don't want to take, but
It's a little bit scuffed because apparently when you use it, you can't use anything else in your pockets sometimes. and you
That
have to
just happened
re-wake up.
today. Because yesterday, I did 11 syringes without dying, and then like I kept on going. And the law supplied me with 30 syringes, and like I kept on doing it, and I think I went to the hospital like 4 times in 15 minutes.
Like 50, yeah, you definitely did.
Bro, the doctors were so tired of my shit, bro. They didn't even give me the RP anymore, bro. They were like, "Oh, he's back." Oh no.
Oh my God, this fucking guy again. This
Just
fucking
revive
junkie,
him.
man.
Just goodbye.
Revive him.
Goodbye.
We'll see you again. We'll see you again in 5 minutes, basically.
I love drug addict roleplay, not because I think it's great, but it just gives you like a moment to let your character to kind of break the box you created for them and
Yeah.
just go out of the norm,
Yeah, 100%.
Now, what's this?
all right. I think this is more of the drug.
The drug.
Spies everywhere. Changing.
Chain gang. The alien.
Holy shit! It's a fucking alien! Holy shit!
You actually got hit?
Holy shit!
I love how he's just doing this in the middle of the street, right across from his business.
There's spies everywhere.
He's just.
Changing.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
Buddha's great, man. Buddha's
Yeah.
great.
This drug has been a really awesome addition to the server. I think it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, more RP drugs. Yes.
What the fuck?
I didn't
LSD.
expect Frankie to just grab it and. You're holding the gun wrong, Frankie.
Shoot
He's holding the gun really gangster.
Really good.
Was really
He's watching me.
Oh, you took the drug too?
You actually see fucking shit as clowns and aliens and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like how he was holding the gun.
The gun sideways.
That's funny.
Frankie, don't fuck given, man.
You're holding the gun wrong, Frankie.
Can I shoot the
He's holding the gun really, really gangster.
Oh, that's funny. That's
Imagine
too
actually
funny.
trying to shoot like that. Like,
Yeah.
like
No,
that would be
you
so
wouldn't.
bad. It would be so.
Yeah, that would.
I can feel my wrist snapping.
Yeah, it would slip out of your hands and hit you in the teeth 100%.
Oh, so true.
All right, so this is kind of switching gears a little bit. This is a preview of the new cop car that's coming out, the PD Charger. So you guys haven't seen this thing. It looks sick.
Augers.
Yeah, it's game over.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah, that's my driving career.
I love the light.
Yeah, man.
I love the
windshield,
the Velcro windshield.
Yeah. You can do so much with the game, man. I love it. The devs do so much work, man. It's like crazy how much work they do. That thing's gonna be insane.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I already know.
they've described a little bit about how this is going to be used. Do you know anything about it?
No.
So from my understanding, interceptors aren't designed to be on patrol. And, interceptors were originally introduced to combat like high tier cars and that's it. But since the introduction, interceptors are kind of just everywhere now. So it's like you'll be pulled over for speeding by an interceptor or, like
in a grandma's minivan.
yeah, like interceptors are kind of everywhere now. So the point of this car is to bridge the gap between a CVPI and an interceptor. The higher ranking cops will have a couple chargers out. There's only like a limited amount of them that can be out. And interceptors will be much more rare and only used for specific things like a Fleeka or, this or that. So you're not going to be, every time you do the tiniest thing wrong, you're not going to have two interceptors on you anymore. Hopefully what happens is that when you commit a crime, you have two interceptors and a bunch of chargers on you now, and the bikes on you now, and Air One on you
Air
now.
One.
So hopefully that's not the case, but we'll see.
I've been like pulled over in a minivan, and the thing is the slower vehicle I'm in is like the vehicle I want to run in the most, because I know I can get away in a fast two-door. So
Yeah.
like if I'm in an SUV or a van. Anyways, I got in a chase the other day. I had 2 Explorers, a motor unit, and 2 Interceptors, and I'm in a minivan trying to get away, right? And I actually ended up getting out of the chase. I ended up getting away, but like I
Get
feel
away
like
from
they
us,
should
bro.
they should be judging sometimes like an interceptor on a minivan. Like how the hell are you supposed to get away?
Well,
It's really
the whole
tough.
introduction, right? Was this supposed to be like interceptor doesn't get involved in chases unless it's like a class A and up? Because originally what I remember,
Yeah, exactly.
announcement about, but then it was like that just.
It was like a week later, I just saw
here.
interceptors on patrol. Like I thought interceptors were like when something big happened, you went and pulled out the interceptor and used it for that and then put it away again. Like that's what I thought they originally were going to be for. But then it was just like within a week, they were just 3 interceptors on patrol all the time. So hopefully with this being out, this will kind of bridge the gap. Let those higher rank officers drive this around, let the cadets and regular officers and stuff drive the CVPI and just leave those interceptors in the garage until you need them and, bust them out.
Supposedly the the S-class cars are supposed to be getting a little bit of a nerf too, right? I believe. So I'm hoping we see more CVPIs since that because I think that's what cops are scared of the most is like, well, if I'm in an S-class, if I'm facing an S-class car, CVPIs basically stand no chance, which is true. I've taken my car, my R8 on the highway so many times and just lost CVPIs like that because
I've done CVPIs and mopeds, bro.
I'm hoping with this transition of the S-class cars are getting a little bit of a nerf to where I think they're supposed to be considered A pluses now, but they're still going to be considered S-class.
Well, no.
hoping-
From my understanding, the way that I heard it on the clip was that they're specifically nerfing the top speed of an S-Class car to where all cars kind of have similar top speed. So an S-Class car can't just go on the freeway and lose all the cops because it just has a higher top speed and you just drive in a straight line better. Instead, the S-Class will have like better brakes, better turning, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I honestly think they should just buff CVPIs. Like the problem, like if you get into any chase with, you could have 4 or 5 CVPIs, and like if you're any sort of competent, you'll get away no problem. I just think they need a buff, and then interceptors come out on more special occasions, and maybe the Charger,
100%.
like you said, to bridge the gap because the CVPIs are underpowered.
It would make it more interesting too, right? Like if you don't see interceptors all the time, and then all of a sudden you're hitting a Polito and you see that, that Charger interceptor, and you're like, oh fuck, man, I haven't seen this in a while. I haven't seen an interceptor in a while, and you get that kind of thrill in it too, right? So it's like, I really hope CVPIs get some type of love, a lot more love, because it'll just make the interceptors more intimidating, to be honest, especially when you're doing jobs.
I feel like the primary issues of anything cop versus crims, like in any regard, mechanics and etc., is the placing of, or the feeling of complacency, right? Like you get used to seeing crims having AKs. It's not a big deal anymore. Like a crim pulls an AK out, oh, whatever. Cops pull out, their ARs, oh, whatever. Interceptor pulls you over, oh, whatever. I love the feel of feeling threatened and like worried about something actually being pulled out and like being used.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
That's lacking. Hey, really quick, before we watch the next clip, this kind of ties into what we were going to talk about later, that hardcore server that was mentioned.
Yep. Yeah. We'll get to that.
We're going to talk about that later? All right, deal.
Yeah, and the AKs being super prevalent and all that stuff will be part of the later discussion. All right. What is next here? Here we go. This is a clip of BSK calling the cops on GSF.
Yeah. There's 4 GSF people with big guns on top of the roofs on foreign driving Carson Avenue, shooting innocent civilians with no remorse. Help!
Yeah.
Hey, check out that blue car, or that black car.
This
It
one
kind
over the light?
in front of the garbage truck. It cut in front of the garbage truck. Oh no, it cut in front of the garbage truck.
There's
Man.
probably a
Just saying.
cockroach in there or something.
Cockroach.
So the aftermath of that cop call, by the way, was Air 1, 3 interceptors, 4 CVPI, 2 bike cops, all coming down to the GSF set and basically trying to arrest all of us. I think they ended up getting 2 of the 5, and I think the rest of us got away. But we that was a massive blow. We lost a bunch of drugs and guns and fines and all that type of stuff. We got hit pretty heavy.
You ever had a cop that spread anything about this, like 911 call? Oh my god. It would be
luckily
so much crazy RP.
The cops told us afterwards. They told us basically that they did this to us. So we know about.
Find out.
Yes, we know in character that they did this. Yeah, 100%.
So, question: Didn't the person who called, didn't they do an anonymous call?
They did. They did an anonymous. So the cops told us. They said, we got an anonymous call saying that you were sitting on your roofs with the class 2. The cops basically read the 911 to us in character. So, for us in character, it's clear, like no one else knew we were up there except BSK, because we were very hidden on the roofs and we only revealed ourselves to them for like a split second. So literally no one else knew that we were up there on the roofs but them. So no one else could have made that call but them. Right? We didn't take any shots. We weren't shooting locals, so the automated calls wouldn't have gone out. I mean, we were literally hidden on the roof. Someone driving by wouldn't have seen us. The only people who did see us was BSK. So there's no one else who could have done that call.
Damn.
I got my main point of that asking that is like in my mind, like not everyone has to feel this way. I think of mechanics as being ways that you can explain stuff to role play. You have payphones, so you can call anonymously. So I feel like I don't use the anonymous call unless I'm downed, and that's to explain a local calling, like a local 911 call for an EMS or something, right? Nothing else.
Yeah.
That's the only time I use that anonymous call. If I anonymously do a 911 outside of that, I'm gonna drive to a, to a damn payphone and do it like that. But that's a me thing. Not everyone's like that.
I like that though, man. It's immersed. It gets you immersed.
Yeah, that'd be cool if that was a mechanic, right? Where like when you try to do 911A, it said like you're not near a payphone or something like that.
Yeah, I'd like that a lot.
And imagine if there was a 911L that like it just came through automatically as a local to the people that you're 911ing. So if there was a 911L, you would use that when you're down to 911 as a local. 911A, you had to be near a payphone. That would be cool if they added more types of 911s.
Yeah,
But
I'm with Dunn kind of when he was saying like, I mean, this is kind of stupid, but I it's my laziness trying to explain an RP, but you can hotkey answering and hanging up your phone. And yesterday I was in a chase and I couldn't answer my phone, and somebody said like, yo, you gotta put the Bluetooth on your dashboard so that you can answer when you're in a thing. And I said, well, my car doesn't have Bluetooth. I don't even know what the hell that is. I got to pull the fucking phone out of my pocket to answer it and stuff like that. So I love explaining things in character, like just with simple things like binding and what Dunn said, like be at a payphone or something. So
yeah.
So, as a question, right? You guys know what Venmo is, out of the city, how it works, right?
Yeah.
And then you know how Venmo works in the city, right?
Yeah.
I just want everyone's opinion here. If you got like a weird call, somebody calls you off of their personal phone and goes, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna kill you and you're fucked, and then they hang up, right? And you're like, who the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Would you not just Venmo them some money to find out who the fuck they were?
I mean, couldn't you just Google their? I mean, in real life, you could just like Google their phone number, right? The white pages typically have people's names listed, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that a problem though? Isn't that like I heard that was like considered powerful or something, right?
But I think he's saying that it's not powerful because that's something you could easily do in real life.
Yeah,
you could just send someone $1.
I agree. I don't really understand why.
But actually, in real life, you wouldn't even need to send them anything. I think if you just type in their phone number, it'll just pull up their name. Like you wouldn't even need to.
If you really want to hide your number, just go to fucking payphone, right? Like.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the whole point.
It's like if it's considered powerful, then why have it where the app in game reveals the name of the person? But then why not just reveal just the number and just send the money that way instead of having a name attached to it?
100%.
Yeah, I don't see a problem. I think it's maybe.
It's definitely a problem. I mean, I've already, because I used to do that as well. Like if I've had weird numbers call me and stuff, I've been told that as like sending $1 to a number is a no.
Well, see, that's where I get so fucked up about it, because there's a mechanic in game to hide your fucking number to call people. Go to a payphone and call the person you want to send a fucking threat to, because that's a mechanic that hides you anonymously.
Exactly.
Right? So
it prevents that.
Your phone, you're taking the risk of them just knowing and finding out who you are, and it's an easy thing to do with Venmo.
I agree with
that. We're soon getting burner phones as well.
No, burner phones already exist. They're just very, 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 very difficult. I wish they were more prevalent, because it would be very nice to have those for certain situations.
It'd be nice if they were out there.
I mean, in my opinion, I feel like burner phones should be pretty easy to obtain, but they have very short shelf life. Like think of like a radio, right? It only lasts a day or 2 or 3. But it's pretty easy to get, but die out pretty quickly. That's how I would balance them.
Agreed. And I think that would, because I feel like most people are just being faced with the option of being too lazy to go find a payphone to call somebody.
Mm-hmm.
At least then they would just be able to use a burner phone to call that threat.
Oh, does it already only have a 2-3 day life? Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Well,
I think it's
then they should be easier to get. God damn it! I've never seen one. I want one.
I know that Afro gave me the meta unlocking game when he was playing Jacob.
They're like a. Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to know where they're from. I'll figure it out. All right, next clip. This one is a sick getaway clip. This is a Poggers clip.
Okay,
definitely,
so
Donate with an eye.
Oh my God!
Definitely Poggers.
Oh my! What do you
fucking are?
How do you mean? How is that happening? You did it, asshole. Let her go. Let him go.
Let me go, pendejo. Oh,
right.
Self-defense, la policía.
No, don't you? Oh, fuck.
It was self-defense. It was self-defense. It was self-defense. Sorry, it was self-defense. It was self-defense, officer. It was self-defense. It was self-defense.
Dominoes.
No!
Oh, shit,
No!
The greatest
No!
escape.
Oh,
I forgot to
shit,
buckle
that's
up,
funny.
dude. Oh my god, I forgot to buckle up.
Oh my.
Yes, you are.
Oh my god.
man,
is
that's
such
so
a
Oh
funny
my,
guy.
what do you?
This dude.
How
can
do you
make
mean,
the
how
most
is that
saddest
happening?
Shit turn so funny, bro. He can make a joke out of everything, bro.
Yeah.
Have for some reason I feel like I know him, but someone told me what his add a character name was and I didn't recognize him. Am I just...
He's only been on the server for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
He sounds so familiar. I wonder if I played with him on our benefactors or something like that, because he sounds
Kinda
super
sounds
familiar.
Like C. Do you remember C from 2.0?
Possibly. I don't know. He sounds so familiar to me. Like when I hear him talk, he sounds so
He
familiar.
doesn't
to
even
me.
sound the same like out of character as he does like playing Tony.
Yeah. Oh, this clip. This is one of my favorite clips in a long time. This clip is incredible. This is so funny.
I'm here for you guys.
I hear the fucking idiot. I hear the idiot. I hear him.
Oh, you hear him?
That one.
That one? Oh, okay. He said fuck.
Yeah, you getting your fucking ass beat, bro.
Alright, I'm coming here.
They got you too? Why are you here?
That's not talking about.
Megaphone, why are you guys all here?
Police
What
officers.
the fuck is this?
I shot 2 police officers.
I'm getting the fuck out of you guys are gonna get
Because
lined up.
I'm a gangster. Oh my god.
What is wrong with me?
Oh my god.
This is the best thing ever.
Alright, let me get your charges again. I'm handing out fades left, right, and center on the
Carter's great,
I
man.
fucking love GSF, dude.
Why are you? Oh man,
They
that's
got
so...
you too? Why are you here?
Dude, that needs to be an alert right there. They got you too?
Megaphone, why are you guys all here?
That's moments I love in all criminal groups.
I'm getting the fuck out of you guys are gonna get lined up on these shit.
Dude, it's so good.
Oh man, what a good clip. That is such a good clip. I love that clip.
I think every criminal group loves that moment where you like, oh yeah, the rest of my boys just got away, and then they all slowly
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Oh, that was too good.
By the way, got the battle pass for Halo.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yo, no one gave flying fuck.
I knew you.
Yo, hey, who
no one
First open your
gives
mouth.
who
flying
asked?
fuck now.
Who asked? Who asked?
Oh my.
I played all night last night just to get diamond, bro. The game's too goddamn fun.
It is.
I'm probably gonna be playing it all day today.
Overrated,
Listen, man,
absolute
I'm
shit
platinum
combat,
5,
shit
all right?
gameplay.
I'm platinum
Battlefield is
5.
better.
Gotta
Shout
help
out
me.
EA.
Gotta
Shout
help
out
me, Don,
Battlefield.
please.
All right, you're getting
I'm
muted.
sorry,
No, I'm kidding.
Battlefield dropped the ball on this one. man.
Mute him.
I just refunded Battlefield
Yeah.
like 13 minutes ago.
Yeah, hey,
Yo, Battlefield is perfect. bro.
Mid podcast, this dude's out here refunding.
Last Halo game got shat on so bad. Nobody liked it. The multiplayer was very subpar. The last Battlefield game, everyone's like, it's alright, it's fun, it's cool, it's good. And then this time around, Battlefield just dropped the ball, ate shit, and Halo's like, go fuck yourself. We're taking the W today.
Yep. No, yeah, the new Halo's a lot of fun. The more I play it, the more I like it. When I first started playing it, I wasn't a big fan, but the more I play it, the more I like it.
I'd rather
so
play
fluid.
fucking COD.
It's so fluid. The game.
Honestly, I would rather play COD 2, but the new COD doesn't look great. I don't like
It's
old
better than
timey.
Halo, though. I don't like that.
I don't like
Halo is
old timey
absolute
games,
trash,
dude. I don't
bro.
want to use a
It's
fucking
trash. It's
M1.
trash.
I don't want to use a Tommy gun. Like,
fucking Dragonov from 1945, man.
I don't. I just don't want to play
I'm over that World
old.
War II shit.
Yeah,
World
same.
War II era. I'm still over it, dude. They made literally dozens of
That
games
shit is
in that
copy
Yeah,
and
and
paste
Halo.
now.
Halo is a washed-up concept. It's the same
Nah.
game. New
Hey, you can mute
graphics.
him. You can mute him again. He doesn't even need to talk.
I mean, okay,
I
but
grew up on Halo, my guy. I grew up on
Someone
Halo.
drops a 10 bomb in
It's
the chat. We'll mute Lil Cat
era.
right now.
Same story, same characters, same weapons, same fucking enemies, bro. Same shit.
Listen, there's new guns that come
Nothing
out.
new. Nothing new.
New enemies that come out.
New
Just
maps.
how Battlefield uses
Oh my God,
its
bro.
own
They
assets
got new
over and
colors,
over.
bro.
Battlefield literally does the same thing, man. You're arguing and like shitting on
Well,
Halo
Battlefield
for the same shit
actually
Battlefield does.
it actually digs deeper into combat. Halo is the same fucking
Right,
thing.
right.
Same fucking thing, bro.
Digs deeper. Oh.
No,
Hey, wait,
hashtag
wait,
spot.
wait.
Make sure
Time
you
out.
end every sentence with hashtag sponsored,
Time out.
please.
Hey,
All right.
where's the Battlefield comp scene at?
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Bro, I
damn.
don't give a fuck about no
Non-existent.
comp scene.
Non-existent.
Who the fuck is bringing up comp
Damn.
scene? We're talking about
Hey, there's a lot of people that love the
Who
comp
the
scene,
fuck
man.
gives about Halo then? Fuck
Battlefield
Halo.
There's a
is-
lot of
look,
bro. A lot of people are trying to get into.
Wait,
the comp
didn't
scene.
Halo just have a huge tournament like yesterday or the day before yesterday that had like
They always have big
150,000
because
viewers?
It's a bigger brand than Battlefield.
Okay, but didn't you also just say who cares about?
Really
It's
good.
better
What's really
than
good, Cap?
Battlefield.
But wait, didn't you just say that who cares about the Halo competitive scene? Yet
Yeah,
they
right.
just had a massive tournament with hundreds of thousands of
And now
viewers.
you're admitting that they're bigger than. Here's the thing: Battlefield's a huge thing as well, but Battlefield is for baby shooters, people who don't know how to aim and do.
Look,
and
this is
actually
the difference. This is the difference
Bro,
right here.
I play squad and armor.
What
What do you mean, baby
is not
shooters,
wrong. What
bro?
Lil Cap is saying is not wrong, but this is the thing. Battlefield releases just like COD will release a game every fucking year, where Halo releases a game every 5 to 6 years or some shit.
Preach.
And that's the fucking difference right there. It's
Preach.
like, yeah, it might be the same thing with minor changes, but we don't get the same copy and paste shit every fucking year, and then they tell us it's new. No, they're like, hey, here's another Halo. There's some new shit in it.
4
You
years
might
down
like
the
it.
road.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the
But
only
Halo's
Battlefield-
formula is so washed.
The only Battlefield
So
that
is
has
Battlefield.
felt
So
new-
is COD.
The only Battlefield that felt new was Battlefield 1, where they're like, hey, we're going to do World War 1 and the planes are made out of fucking paper. That shit was kind of interesting. I had fun playing it, but all the other Battlefields are just the same thing, copy and pasted over and over. And the only thing that makes people interested is they go, hey, you can destroy a little bit more buildings now, and it's like a new grapple gun. Woo!
If
Don't
we're
get
gonna
me
talk
wrong.
about good shooters here, then Squad is probably the best shooter I've ever played. Squad is
military spin, isn't it? It's a military spin.
Squad is
wait,
okay.
we're getting off topic here. We're getting off topic. Let's stick to, come on.
Yeah, sure.
Let's stick, we're way off topic. Let's
Sorry.
But
Hey, listen, I'm sorry.
last comment: Cycle is a badass game, and I'm really excited for it to actually come out. I'm very excited for that. It's like Tarkov, but good.
Oh yeah. That is a fun
Flo
game.
actually got me to sign up for it. Played it once, then I uninstalled it.
Yeah, it's very fun. I liked it a lot. I was solo grinding that shit until they shut the servers down for the preview. All
I
right.
hate Tarkov.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the concepts behind Tarkov, but Tarkov's way too fiddly and weird for me. There's way too much bullshit going on in that game. Like, Cycle it refines the Tarkov bullshit down into the essentials just good enough for me.
Basic. It's like the Fortnite of Tarkov.
Yes, which is exactly what I always wanted. Like, that's exactly what I always wanted, and I was enjoying it a lot.
It was like, easy
Damn.
PUBG.
Bad Company was really
Not
good.
easy,
All
but
right, I read a comment in chat, and Bad Company was definitely a good game. Love Bad Company.
Hell yeah.
That's
All
the
right.
only reason the new Battlefield's worth it, because you can go back and play those old maps.
So this was something Zydero dropped, but he's not here now to explain it. I think this was kind of the culmination of a storyline from the DOC. I don't actually know too much about what's happening in this clip, but I do know this is like someone higher up in DOC getting fired and things go south.
Oh, you're going to be removed from the department. Go and leave.
Oh, wait. What? Why is it? Excuse me. Twitch.
Nice, man. Hey, what a sick clip, man.
You're going to be removed from the
You're going to be
department. Go and leave your equipment
removed
in
from
your
the
locker,
department.
and we'll have you removed. You're going to be removed from the department. Go and leave your equipment in your locker, and we'll have you removed from everything else later.
That is fine. Everything is in.
What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say.
He got rolled.
Yeah, I just shot Dom in the fucking face. I need medical visitation. I have also been shot.
76.
I love Miles, man.
Yeah, fuck me.
You're going to be removed
Miles
from the
is
department. Go and leave your equipment in your locker, and we'll have you removed from everything else later.
That is fine. Everything
I didn't
is
see
in.
that coming.
What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say.
Full gangster mode. Just
So you know,
didn't give a shit.
This
There's
guy.
no indication they're about to just be aggressive. Either. Oh yeah, everything's in there. Please God.
What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say.
Indication they're about to just be aggressive. Either. Oh yeah, everything's in there. Please God. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say. What are you doing? Put that down. Yeah, no fucking thing, say
So you know how he won this gunfight, right? She has the criminal gun draw animation, and he has the cop gun draw animation. Rewatch this. Watch the animations.
That's just fine.
Yeah, I
Everything
noticed
is
that.
in-
Like, see, she pulls his
What are you
gun
doing? Put that
way
down.
before him, but
Got
he
a
gets his
fucking
out
thing
first.
shy.
Like he
Damn, I didn't
has
even
his gun out
notice
so
that.
quick. Yeah, the
didn't even
gun, the
notice that was
cop
a
gun
thing.
draw animation is so fucking good.
What are you doing?
Well, that's
Put that
probably
down.
because the cop gun
Got a
was pretty. She was probably like, she had to be hurt or something. Because I'm pretty sure the cop.
Yeah, I don't
was,
think
like,
she had
pretty-
armor. I don't think she had armor.
I think that they draw faster because they have a holster versus criminals pull a gun out their ass. You know?
Yeah, no
I
shit.
wish that
Yeah.
was the thing that could be applied to
basically.
crims too. Like you could just fucking put on a goddamn holster and draw quicker.
That would
Yeah,
be
like
sick.
imagine
Yeah.
it was balanced by like being expensive or something. I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about 3.5 wish list type stuff here in a minute, and that I have some thoughts about that as well.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of wish list things, I'm sure.
So this is a clip that kind of is a little bit of drama-y. This specifically relates to the new green zone rules that are in place right now about shooting and PvP at the hospital and apartments and stuff. So we're going to watch this clip real quick, and then we'll kind of discuss your thoughts on green zones and what you thought about kind of how this clip took place in a green zone afterwards.
We have context on to this one.
Yeah.
I say no, then you man's run your hands up as well, then, innit? You man run your hands up as well, then, innit?
I love
You
the
man
kid,
run your
man.
hands up then as well, innit?
Know your fucking place, bro. When I tell you, bro, don't be doing stuff like this here. Know your fucking place, bro.
Who shot first?
Ah, man, it's hard to tell. It's like,
I think BSK shot first. Holy fuck, bro, he's popping off.
So wait, what's the problem with pillbox or whatever?
It's a green zone, man.
Oh, we'll go over it when the clip is over. Just
Okay.
he was already down. It was just
When I fucking
glitch.
tell you, know your fucking place. You
Well,
know your fucking
This is my
place.
thing to say on this. They were just robbing somebody, right? Like, if it's a green zone, like, are they allowed
So
to
hold
rob
on.
somebody?
So
'Cause-
before this, before we go into that, whose fault it is, let's talk about just green zones in
I don't care
general.
about the fault. I'm just
yeah.
asking a real question.
So the rules on NoPixel specifically state that in green zones, which is all hospitals, pillbox, and what's the other one?
Apartments?
No,
Apartments,
yeah,
Benny's.
Benny's,
Apartments,
yeah,
hospital.
Benny's repair, yeah. Those three spots, it specifically says no PvP and no running to the
camping, no sheltering.
no running to those zones to avoid PvP. So that's kind of the
MRPD wasn't added to that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
was
Yeah, that's a
surprised.
weird one. But so that's kind of the thought process behind green zones. So what do you guys think about the concept of green zones in general first?
I think it's fun.
It's needed.
I think it's fun because people were abusing that shit. I remember walking out of
I
the
think
pillbox
it's
and they
needed for
clapped.
places.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
It wouldn't have to be a thing if people, didn't overdo
abuse.
it.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in wars
Yeah.
where we would just get clapped, and go to pillbox, walk out of pillbox, walk 10 feet
yeah,
out of pillbox.
I've literally had
and
that
get clapped
happen to me.
again. And it's
So-
just like, why? You know what I mean?
It sucks because from like if you're looking at it from like a role play stance.
Oh yeah, let's do
like,
a
it
poll.
sucks-
That's a good.
Yeah, you could do a poll. It sucks from like a role play stance because like you want to be immersed and then like it kind of ruins the immersion a little bit. 'Cause you got to think back on it. But it's also, I mean, like everybody said, it's kind of needed because people just clap you, go to pillbox and see you again, and then just like take you hostage. It's I think it's very dependent on the role players, right? Like if people were to not like kind of abuse it to the point where like people weren't camping it and stuff like that, it would have never been a rule. But at this point,
My bad. I wasn't trying to interrupt. My bad.
yeah, no, go ahead.
You made a comment with the it's the immersion and everything, right?
Yeah.
Man, I think immersion, role play over role play all the damn time. Like I think it makes sense. But like on the flip side of that immersion, right? Like you don't want to have to think of a place as a green zone, but also if you just got shot and sent to a hospital by somebody, it would break the fuck out of your immersion of being shot by someone if they came back and shot you
true.
again, right?
100%. Yeah. So it's like a double-edged sword.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's well, apparently it's a key shot first, is what I'm seeing too. it's weird, man.
Well, this is my thing. This is my thing. This is what my take. If it's a green zone, can you rob somebody in it, or is
I don't think you're supposed to.
Well, because
No PvP. Would you consider robbing someone PvP?
I would. I would consider
that's
that
what I'm
PvP.
saying. And then I know Zaki shot first, but then there shouldn't have been a robbery going on in the first place anyway.
Yeah, there was.
Lead to that. You get what I'm saying?
What they could have did is kind of, I guess, kind of been like, I'll see you out in the streets, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they probably, that probably
or something like that. But it's like some people still don't really know about that. Like I've seen personally, people don't know about. Like I've seen CG, for example, take somebody hostage in Benny's and return the car. You know, like they took a car and then returned it. I don't know where the clip is, but and they forgot about it. So I mean, some people do forget about it because it's kind of like a new implementation. So it takes a minute to.
I will say that a rule being new and you not being used to it is not an excuse.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Someone that I know just got banned because they broke a brand new rule that they've never really interacted with before. Someone I know just got banned for that, and it's a brand new rule that's barely been out a couple weeks. So, saying like, oh, well, the rule's new and you're not used to it, blah, blah, blah.
You got to refresh your shit every fucking other day. Make sure you know what your fuck. You just got to know it. You got to know your shit. You got to know your rules.
How many people in chat are even saying that this is a green zone?
It's not a
Yeah, in the clip, someone's like, this is a green zone.
People are just two people, yeah. Yeah, it's
What do you think about green zones, Flo?
I think they're good for the server. The thing that I struggle with right now is a few times we've been kind of cruising around town and we're like, okay, we need to get a hostage or something for a certain robbery or whatever. And like I've been like, can I go to the apartments and just hold somebody up and you know what I mean? And just take them. So like actually throughout the last week I've not been taking hostages from the apartments, which is good in my opinion, because it sucks waking up and walking outside. Like I'm thankful it doesn't happen to me, or it hasn't happened to me ever. Maybe once way back. But there's people that like you go, hey, are you busy? You know what I mean? I need to get in my trunk or whatever. And they're like, I literally woke up 30 seconds ago,
What sucks about the green zone being Oak Street now is now people are getting kidnapped in front of Burger Shot, like in front of the Burger Shot apartments now. Yeah, like I got kidnapped twice since they made Oak Street a green zone. Now people are just going to Burger Shot and kidnapping people outside those apartments. I'm just like, of course they.
Well,
can, right?
yeah. Remember that the rule says apartments with an S, meaning the Burger Shot apartments are also a green zone.
Oh well, some people don't know.
Any
that
apartments, tier 3.
Literally, I walked out my apartment and instantly got kidnapped. I watched other people walk outside their apartment and get kidnapped there in the last week.
What'd you say, Don?
I feel like, man, this is a critical statement. You guys don't have to get into this conversation, but there's a lack of explanation, consistency, or transparency in some ways that rules are applied. Like apartments, like everyone calls the Alta Street apartments the apartments. It's not like that apartments plural applies to all the other apartments. No one really thinks about it like that. It's like there needs to be like a very clear case in point examples that are
like all
easily
apartments
referable.
They put all apartments. I mean, it'd make it more obvious, right? Like I get that. 100% get that.
Yeah. So
I guess I don't know. I mean, it all comes back to is robbing and quote unquote a PV, is it PvP? I think personally you should kind of quote unquote see them out in the streets. I don't think you should be robbing people at either like the apartments or the hospital or Benny's. I feel like it's especially at Benny's because it's just like you're stuck in the animation, like especially if you're like repairing your car, you're like stuck in that, or if you're customizing your car, you're stuck on that screen for a minute. So I definitely agree with like Benny's. I don't know. It's weird,
so the poll came back. The chat pretty unanimously agrees that green zones are good for the server. Me personally, I disagree. I think that green zones, generally speaking, are super immersion breaking. I think that they don't make sense in RP. They feel super unnatural. And as much as I want to say, oh, well, it's nice to have a green zone because at X, Y, and Z, at the end of the day, I'm the type of person who favors immersion over that type of protection. And I think that the green zones create a layer of like mechanical weirdness to your interactions in some of the most popular places in the city that make it just make scenes feel awkward as fuck. Like just completely rip you from the narrative. So as an example, GSF and BSK were driving around hunting each other, right? We pulled up to the apartments because someone needed to run in to grab something, a radio or something. And they ran into their apartments. And as they ran in, we're like parked outside. BSK pulls up in their car full of people. And we literally just sit there and look at each other because we're at the fucking apartments. And like, how awkward is that? Is it someone you're literally...
I don't think that's awkward though. Like, I think that's an opportunity to talk shit to each other and be like, see you on the streets. You know, because too many times, man, in these wars, there is no fucking talking. You know, you just roll up on each other.
True.
There's like, hey, we're here, and then you start shooting.
Yeah, but
you at a safe zone, then you have an opportunity, like we can't shoot here.
Yeah, but the problem was that is exactly what happened in this clip. Is that their justification for robbing him was because he was talking shit. Oh, well, you shouldn't be talking shit in a green zone because then you're gonna get robbed. You shouldn't be talking shit if you can't shoot there, right? So like people don't want to letting someone talk shit is basically letting them get a free win. It lets them get a W on you, right?
Like what Cloudy said, like, I'll catch you on the street. Like that would have created more RP if they would have been like, I'll catch you on the street, pull out, leave, follow him, see where he goes, see who hangs with. Lately, create a lot more RP that way as opposed to
me personally. I mean, it's been like this for a while. I've been preferring like shit talking role play and funny like meme like fights and stuff like that over gunplay because it's just like it's an RP server. Like at the end of the day, like I don't give a shit about who's a better shooter, who gets the W, who gets the L. Like like Noel was saying earlier, I would be the type of person to have 4-on-4 or 6-on-6 now bat battle where we're all just beating each other upside the head with bats because it'd be funny, right? It gives a shit about like shooting at the end of the day. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been like this for a while now, man. It's just like, especially war RP, I feel like it's really... No matter what, no matter how positive you try to be, chats will be chats. And it just gets toxic, right? It eventually gets toxic. People can obviously try to control their chats as much as they can, but from with how big 3.0 is and no pixel now, viewers look at it, especially if they're really, really into a streamer, as a win-loss situation. Like if your streamer goes down, they take offense to it. And it's not the streamer's fault, obviously. It's not the person playing the character's fault or anything. But like PvP in general, man, is just like should be the last resort. It should always be shit talking and having fun and making sure everybody's having fun. If you're just so focused on like PvP and always shooting people, it gets repetitive and it gets boring for everybody, in my opinion. Shooting somebody every day, worrying about getting shot every day it's not fun.
I got something to say about the green zone. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Flo. Go ahead.
The green zone thing, it's like kind of like a new rule, so that's why we're even talking about it. But if you look at a rule that's been in place, probably, I don't know this, but probably since the beginning of the server, and I'm sure it's in every other server, you can't walk up to somebody and hold them at gunpoint at the ATM and drain their bank account.
Yeah.
Which, like in real life, I literally have a friend. He passed away. He went through this big, obviously it was addiction that enabled him to be doing stuff like this. But he literally walked up to some person at an ATM and robbed them and made them take money out of their account and give it to him, right? So like, that's a possibility, but that rule is there. That rule is there to protect everybody. So I feel like that's kind of what they're shooting for with the green zone as well.
100%.
And it's just new, so it's kind of one of those things where we're like, oh, is it good or is it bad? But if it was there from the beginning, everybody would be like, well, that's a rule that's been there.
So everyone here, I feel like, has had a taste of a war role play and conflict, right? I mean, beyond myself and Flo, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I avoid that shit. I avoid it like the plague. I avoid conflict role play with other groups, not because I don't want to have it, but it's because my experience dictates my actions and responses to things. I have never been able to just chat shit at somebody and not get robbed or shot immediately afterwards. I've never been able to have banter with another group where we can like openly flex on each other, but know that we're not trying to like fuck each other up right then and there and like postpone it and build tension.
I mean, it's so much more because you can build tension like that. You know, like if you like you're talking shit to somebody, they're talking shit to you, and you're like, okay, you let them talk their shit, and you're like, all right, now's not the time. And then 2 hours later, when they completely forgot about you, you roll up on them. Hey, you remember all that shit you were talking earlier? Get in the fucking truck. You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, like their entire day just changed. There's a whole bunch of RP created in the process of you just not shooting right on the spot, right?
It's like this. I'm pretty sure all of you went to elementary school, middle school, etc., primary school, wherever you're from. You learned in English class, literature class, there's a thing called rising action and then climax. And the thing that conflict roleplay lacks for me is rising action. The rising action is, oh, you robbed my motherfucking boy. Fuck you. I'm gonna shoot you now. And that is it. Like, because immediately as soon as they say that, they are going to go shoot you. Or they saw you robbing their boy and they didn't like mentally remember that like for later, like, oh shit, no, I gotta stop that now. And I get it. You want to be there, behind your boy's back and your peoples all the time. But man, it's why I just don't like conflict roleplay. It's not because I don't want it. It's just because my experience is that it falls to gunplay before it ever actually develops roleplay.
Yeah, that's that's why I love the group that I'm with so much. I don't know if you know who the Italian Mafia is. They've been we got raided basically like the first week of the group being a thing officially. That's why I like the Italian Mafia so much, man. It's because we focus more on just that role play aspect, and we don't really give a shit about the shooting aspect. We prefer slow burn RP. If somebody robs our people, we're gonna go up and we're gonna talk to somebody about it, and we're gonna figure out what's going on instead of just going up and saying, all right, well, bring the AKs out. Let's go fucking blast these guys. Fuck it. Let's just go start shooting. That's what I like about and I'm sure Cap can agree with this, is not everything with them is shooting. And it's like,
yeah.
And go ahead.
No. Keep going, man. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I feel like it should be like that. Like if you want to PvP, go to the 5M arena. I mean, you could just sit there on Grove Street and blast people.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good server, man. If you want to just go around and blast people, but we're focused on roleplay here, right?
I mean, it's tough though. Going on that, it's really tough because my group does the exact same stuff, and Dunn will tell you that. Like, we've always been those people that like talk shit out, and eventually it gets to the point where you have to be able to do something other, because like it's like a double-edged sword where you have to have a good mix of both. Otherwise, your crew becomes either being pushed over all the time, or we get a lot of people. We get a lot of people watch like my group. Like amongst all of the people that stream, we have a lot of viewership between us, and a lot of people will just say our biggest thing is like the softest crew in Los Santos. Like that's what people say, because we take that RP approach more often than shooting.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like about the Clean Boys so much too, man. Is like they don't care about war conflict. They don't care about shooting. Like they'll come at you a different type of way, and it'll take people by surprise. And that's why I'm so keen on like watching their role play over somebody who just shoots. And not, if somebody enjoys shooting and doing stuff like that, more power to them. It's no hate to them or whatever. Do RP how you want to do it, but shooting is like, I feel like it should always be a last resort thing. Like it shouldn't be this guy talked shit to me down the street, said nothing of relevant to what I'm actually doing. Like this guy could have said something completely irrelevant to what I'm doing or whatever, but just was spewing shit. Some people would shoot somebody over that, and I'm just like, well, who gives a fuck? Like, let them think, let them do what they want to do. We'll either hash it out or we'll talk it out, and last resort is we're gonna get to blasting each other, right? Like we'll have fun with it. So it's like, go ahead. I've had by saying it. Go ahead, Cap.
My take on like conflict RP and stuff like that, I'm completely done with it. Conflict RP got absolutely ruined for me after I left Wu-Chang. honestly. It got completely ruined for me. I don't want to partake in conflict RP like that. I can do it to an extent, but it gets super uncomfortable super quick for me. I think it's more it's PTSD, bro. Like, because I know the damage that it takes.
Yeah, it
And
just depends on the person too, right? You know, everybody's different.
Yeah.
It's kind
Some
of like
people
a
make conflict fun,
you
some
got you got to
people
read
don't.
you got to read the room type of thing. You know, you gotta you should both sides should always be having fun in a conflict. You know,
Agreed. I always look at conflict between like criminal groups at least as a thing that needs to be like it needs structure from like a OOC point of view to allow everyone to avoid the issues of OOC toxicity, negativity, you know, hate raids, and then just getting salty at each other. Right? It's like
100%.
I loved. So in 2.0, the only reason I've stayed on NoPixel as long as I have is because I met two people when I first joined the server. That was Buddha and Kyle. Buddha picked me up when I was first trying to find like what kind of character I wanted to play, and there was Thomas Wayne, and then he was called the narrator. I'd go around and do different voices. And he picks me up to narrate him, right?
Yeah.
And I started watching Buddha after that. You know, I was very interested. Like his chat was so loving. His community just rated me. They were just so sweet. And I watched him every so often. And then I saw like the wars, like the Southside gang wars, and how toxic and how bad it got. And it goes from it being roleplay to it giving the competitive shooter vibes is like just what it becomes. It just feels like, you know, team versus team. And it makes me disconnect from the roleplay and doesn't give me any interest because it doesn't feel like there's consequences to the losers either. You know, it's such a weird thing because it doesn't feel like it really progresses anything. It just gives you something to do for like a couple of weeks.
That's why, and that's why I'll always say this, man. Conflict shouldn't go on too long because then it just gets drawn out, like you said, and it starts becoming toxic.
I agree
there
with
should be
that.
a limit
For sure.
to how long any type of conflict is because it, you know, if a war is dragged out for a whole month or something, people get tired. People don't want to wake up because they're just like, oh, back to the same old thing. Like there should always be a resolution to any type of conflict, and both parties should just, you know, at the end of the day, read the room and make sure everybody's having fun. Because if the other RP is not having fun and it gets to the point where there's like, well, shit, man, I don't even want to wake up, at least not on this character anymore. It's like it would make me feel like shit, right? Like it'd make me feel bad if I made somebody else feel that way. So like conflict for me, man, I wouldn't want it to last longer than like a week personally. Just because it gets to that point where people are just
and I think adding rules to it, like it can't go more than 7 days, etc. I think would be bad. It would be kind of my same argument against green zones, that it would feel very immersion breaking and unnatural. I think people should just be better at reading the room, and I think people should be better at taking L's, and people should be better at taking W's. You know, there's so many wars where people just refuse to take a W. Like people should just be better at letting things conclude and move on with their lives. That's something that I feel like is kind of a big struggle on the server. But I did want to say that I did want to play devil's advocate on shooting and war stuff. I feel like it's a different play style for sure, but I feel like it's perfectly valid, and I think that shooting feels good on NoPixel, and I think that it's fun to do, and I think that there's nothing wrong with people wanting to engage with that more than other activities. You know, if people want to be kind of a shooting-focused person who does a lot of shooting, who's in a lot of shootouts all the time, I don't see a problem with that at all. It's just a different play style than, you know, someone who's focused more on a story or focused more on this and that.
I mean, it depends.
Then it comes to the read the room thing, though, right? Like if you're a shooter person focused on shooting, you gotta like if somebody
RP should come first.
Yeah, if you run into somebody that doesn't really like shooting and you try to force something upon them, then it gets kind of like weird, right? Like I'm trying to think of how to say this. Nobody should ever feel forced to have to do something in RP. Like nobody should ever feel like uncomfortable, like, oh well, you know, this guy really has a beef with us or whatever. The one guy really likes shooting and the one guy really likes storylines. You know, come to an agreement in a sense, whether it be I don't know, something silly, man. Bat fights or something to the point where like something is resolved. Because if somebody that just enjoys storylines and doesn't really care for shooting has to sit there and go and shoot for a week and it makes them uncomfortable, then you're like kind of in an unhealthy state, in my opinion.
Well, I think as long as
server.
the party that's engaging in the shooting primarily gives you an out, I think it's fine. So for Changing is a really good example of that, right? Like these guys are the best shooters on the server. They do not hesitate to blast you at a moment's notice. And they're the big dogs and they know it, right? So at the end of the day, they can gun you down repeatedly and there's not a ton you can do about it. Like you need to be really on your shit to even remotely stand a chance. But I think one thing Chinging is really good at is giving people outs, right? They'll say, hey, give us this, apologize for that, blah, blah, blah. Like they're never just going to come and just clap you for a week straight without giving you some way out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that Chinging is a prime example of how to be a shooter focused kind of group. Well, maybe shooter focus is a bad way to phrase it, but someone who's not afraid to shoot regularly without feeling overburdening to other people and without being too controlling of a narrative. I think they're very good about that type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and it should always be a realistic out though, right? Like if you're sitting there and you're like, I want $1 million, and clearly the guy is like down bad or something. Like you gotta at that point, because then it would just get dragged out again. It would just be weeks and weeks of this guy doesn't have $1 million, so I'm just gonna wait until he has $1 million. But I'm gonna keep clapping him. There's got to be a realistic out for certain type of people. Obviously, Buddha is gonna have more power to bring a more powerful out than say myself or Lil Cap. Like we're both pretty down bad characters, quote unquote, right?
Always down bad.
Scotty always takes loans and always has $40,000 payments a week, which I don't know why I do that to myself, but and then Cap always, is just always
loans
down
for
bad.
drugs.
But
sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead.
There's a thing that I struggle with when it comes to the idea of shooting and being primarily a shooting, I don't say shooting focus, but that's how you want to deal with conflict. And we keep saying read the room, right? Well, one, not everyone's going to read the room, right? Some people aren't in it to make other people happy. They're in it for, their experience. And that's just part of the reality of things.
Yeah.
So also, if it's a shooting focused group that doesn't usually deal with roleplay focused conflict, they're not going to read the room with your mentality in mind. They're going to read the room with their mentality in mind. So it's just going to be, oh, this seems fine and fair and fun. And the other person will be like, it's not. And then they just have to kind of like suck up with it. So it's almost too hard to read the room because you might be coming from two different total point of views, which is why I think, and I hate to say, but it's why I think rules for wars, I don't want to say are necessary, but like terms of agreement, kind of like how
terms should always be agreed upon. But like, okay, once you say you're going to war, all right, before we fire the first shot or the next shot, we need to talk. Okay, what are the winning and the losing conditions?
Exactly.
That has to happen.
Like karma conditions before
Otherwise, it
war.
goes forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it goes fucking forever.
Yeah, I would love like Southsiders, and I've said this with other characters in character, and I've said it with people out of character. I would love to see like territory be lost. I would love to see people like lose things or people struggle with stuff.
There's a server that does that. There's a server that actually has it. When you open up the GPS, it shows like the ballers will have a purple territory. You can actually take that territory by selling drugs on that territory with your gang, selling your strand of your drug. And the same thing with the greens and the reds or whatever color they have. If No Pixel was able to implement some shit like that, that would be kind of interesting because then you could see, oh, look, we're taking your territory. You can see who's losing. You look at the fucking map and just be like, oh, shit. Like, the Mala territory is being overtaken by this gang.
The problem or I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a problem, but what that incentivizes then is for people to wake up, create raid groups, and just fucking hunt all day. Literally, you will wake up, you will get in a 4-door with your homies, and you will hunt all day. You will go straight to someone's territory and sell. And you will go and if someone took over your shit that you think is yours, you will just go around hunting. It's like that is like heavy PvP focused like that.
That's the issue of it being heavy PvP focused in the action of it constantly going. And that's why I'd say terms and things being given up after wars would make it better because it'd be
That's
like,
what I'm
all right,
saying, yeah.
as an example, GSF goes to war against Ballas, right? And let's just say GSF loses, so they, the terms agreement was that they give up the other side of their street, forum, right? So now Ballas has got that side of forum as technically it being theirs. GSF can like fuck with them, yell at them, like have fist fights, go over there and fuck with shit, tag shit, but don't actually cause like good like big shootouts. And don't say it's yours until like another war comes up and you can dictate, we're going to war to take this back, Don't make it a thing where it's like a constant everyday battle. Set it up to where it's like it's only event based of the role play and how it was built up to.
Yeah. What thing is too, some people might not want to. I guess it depends, man. Like there's a fine line between it too. Like what if say Ballas and GSF went to war with each other and GSF was like, no, we don't want to give that up. What would your incentive be to kind of combat that?
I mean, at that point, it's just you guys as players finding a middle ground where you guys feel comfortable to actually have something to give up and have the conflict.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's why tabletop roleplay, for me, the reason I like it is because it gives you the moment of OOC processing things and I don't say planning things, but being willing to like lose something. While versus in game, my experience is nobody wants to lose anything.
Yeah.
Well,
this is the way I see it. This is the way I see it. I think if you're not willing to put something up for terms, then there shouldn't even be a fucking war.
Boom, bingo.
Yep.
Like, if you're not willing to give something up,
fuck it. Yeah, there's no point. Yeah, there's no point in
we're
warring.
not fighting because too many times, like I've seen gangs try to put terms up, and the other gang's like, nah, we're not putting that up. All right, well, what about that? Will you put that up? No, we're not putting that up. All right, well, we just put all this up. Like, do you want to put anything up? Nope. Like,
all right, well, then we're not fighting.
Yeah.
Why are we fighting then?
So the reason why no one wants to put up territory is because you don't know what the other person's mindset is on that. And you might end up being, let's say like, okay, you know what? I will put up my territory. And then you lose that war and you lose your territory. Well, now the guy who owns your territory, he might not have that same mindset. He might think that that's his territory forever. And he's never, ever, ever going to give that up, no matter what you do. And now, boom, now they have that new territory and it's theirs for the rest of eternity. And because he has a different mindset than you, you're never going to get that back. And it's really hard to be the person to take that first step and put yourself out there by losing something big like that. Because you just know that no one else is really going to have that same mindset as you. So it comes down to like,
wants to lose.
Yeah, you being okay with taking a huge L, hoping that other people follow suit, and then they don't, and then it's just your L lasts forever. And it's like, that's kind of the problem with that, is that unless there's some type of rule or stipulation made that forces people to do that, someone's going to end up doing that and then no one's going to reciprocate.
What you just said right there could be a rule. Now, instead of terms being a rule, if you make terms, you have to abide by them. So that if somebody goes back on those terms at the end of the war because they don't feel like losing, well, you're breaking a rule now because you made terms. Maybe that could be a rule.
There could be something.
I don't know, man.
It's kind of like the argument of like role play versus real life, right? Like everyone wants to go like real life is like this, but like role play can't be like that.
In real life, I can't pull an AK out of my ass, so I hate that argument.
Yeah, exactly. But like for me, like in real life, gangs fight over territories, over anything. Selling on this corner. And gangs will go up and ruin you selling because they know it's going to hurt you financially. In real life, like. Well, we could use The Wire as a TV show as a reference. It's so close to real life. They're selling. They're selling on the corner. They roll up and they shoot at them. They might not even be aiming to kill them. They're just aiming to disrupt the sales, drive away customers, and get cops' presence there. Right? That's just gang warfare. That's tactics. But maybe they set up a turn to fight for that corner, and now that they have actually got the corner, now they're selling there, and the other gang can fight back for it.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting.
I think it's that simple, man. You either, if the groups want to mutually put up terms, then there's obviously something to fight about. But if a group is not willing to put up terms, just that group clearly there's a reason that group doesn't want to go to war. I mean, try not don't force a war upon somebody because then it makes somebody uncomfortable. and you get to the point where it's like,
This is the thing too. If you're uncomfortable, and your chat's gonna see it's uncomfortable, and your chat sees it's uncomfortable, that's when you start getting hoppers from, that's what happens, man. Like they're a reflection of the streamer. So, I always say this, and I'm guilty of this because I'm human. But nowadays, if I get tilted, and I know my chat's gonna reflect that shit, I turn my camera off, I mute my mic, and I just shut up, and I just let the role play roll out because. If you're uncomfortable, your chat's gonna say it, and then they're gonna start creeping into other people's chats and be like, "Hey, why are you doing this to my streamer?" Blah blah blah, and it's like, and then the shit gets toxic.
Yeah,
it's the read the room mentality again. Because if you don't, if one side wants to go to war and they're willing to put stuff up, the other side doesn't, and then the other side goes, "Well, I don't want to have war." Well, then it should just be like, okay, well, obviously you don't want this conflict role play, and if we both can't see eye to eye, we drop it. But our gangs can still beef. You can still yell at each other. You can still fuck around.
Exactly.
Fuck around with them. Yeah.
Play pranks on each other. Like, hey, I see your car, I'm gonna pop your tire. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shoot your tire.
Yeah,
out, keep
exactly.
going. I could tag your door or something. Like little things like that. It doesn't have to escalate to fucking full out shooting war. Like,
but
you
everything
can do little things like
this
this
now, and that's what.
Well, but that's the thing about war is that you don't need the other side doesn't need to opt in, right? Like if I drive down to your block and wipe you out, and then I wait an hour and I come and drive down your block and wipe you out again, it doesn't matter if you opted into that war or not. You're getting rolled on and you're getting wiped out. So if you don't like it, then what are your options? It's give them what they want, fight back. I mean, that's kind of it, right? So it's like
but
I feel like that goes back to the uncomfortable thing.
And that goes back to the read the room.
And you make them uncomfortable again, and then it makes like chats all in a frenzy, and then it's
I feel like it's not hard to be a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should know when you're crossing that dick line. When you're going into a territory where it's like, would I have fun with this? Would I be having fun? If this was me on the other
but I
end?
mean, if the justifications in character are there for someone to go to war with someone else and that other person doesn't want it, are you saying that they're a bad person for pushing it, even though narratively it makes sense?
Doesn't make sense. So this becomes you're thinking of your experience versus the role play experience, right? The role play experience is that you should be aiming to have fun, and the other person should be having fun. It should never be my fun is greater than your fun.
That's how I would feel. I agree with that.
There.
This is how I would handle it. Let's say with the situation you just said, there's justification for another gang to go to war with another gang. The gang doesn't want it though. Okay. Well, how about instead of being, a dick and clapping them every 5 seconds and running their pockets, maybe you kidnap them. You give them a little torture. You give them some RP.
Yeah, true.
Maybe you force them to dress up some way and like a fucking furry and go sell burgers. And just laugh and take pictures of them and make fun of them on Twitter. Like,
and you can
other things you can do to fuck with this character that's RP.
And then you could be like, and it could be to the point where like, you say, yo, you keep doing this, et cetera, this will keep happening to you.
Yeah.
But they don't really put up a term like, oh, you got to pay us $100K or this is going to keep happening. They just kind of make it known, right? And then you're like, and then you still have an out without really having to, pay anything.
And that's what I'm saying. There's so much more to do other than just, we're just going to clap you until you fucking surrender and give us what we want. It's like, dude, it's such a boring fucking way to go, in my opinion. And it just kills it for the viewers. It kills it for the people in the situation that are on the other side.
The pogs, man.
The pogs.
The poggers.
There's just so much more RP that you could do if, to go to war. You don't RP the war. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually RP that shit. Oh, I kidnapped your girlfriend. Oh, no. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? What are you going to do? I'm going to cut her fucking hair off. No!
I guess it comes to the...
We got to find her now!
It comes to that point to where, like, certain groups don't mind going to war with certain groups because then you know how they are, right? Like, my group wouldn't mind
vibes.
My group wouldn't mind going to war with like your group per se, Bobby, because
that would be a fun fucking war.
We would have those dumb moments where we're hitting each other with baseball bats and we're shooting each other's tires and just fucking with each other, right? And it would never. I think it just. I mean, it literally all just boils down to the read the room thing. It just does. I mean, it's hard to. It's not hard to read the room. I'm gonna be honest. I could tell all the time if somebody's very uncomfortable with if somebody's uncomfortable with a certain RP scenario. You can tell when somebody's uncomfortable. You can they'll sit there and they'll be completely quiet and not talk, or they'll have some aspect to where it's like, this person's not acting right. Maybe we should do something different.
They're obviously not feeling the RP. Maybe try something else or just completely drop it. You know, in an RP way, drop it in an RP way. Like, you know,
I want to know how
easy
Flo.
out
I want to
RP.
know how Flo feels about it because Flo's been a little bit quiet. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I
Flo's
was
been
actually
taking
just,
it all in.
I was just kind of sitting here, like to touch on your last point, going to war with certain groups. Like I've said this, like in my stream, like just talking to chat, but like, for our group, there's not many groups that we can go to war with and it not turn kind of salty, like either for chat or for us. But like we got into a conflict with BBMC, and I said this a bunch of times, like BBMC would be the perfect group for us because a lot of us are out of character friends with those guys. A lot of us,
there's just
like
certain groups you vibe with.
Yeah, we know, like, and we're also like in character friends. Like we were tight with these guys, but now like the stories drive us apart a little bit.
Right.
But if we ever did go to war with anybody, that would be the most fun because we know that if you lose or if they lose, there's no hard feelings anywhere.
Yeah, they don't care. They just enjoy it.
And for the most part, like, you know, there shouldn't be any hard feelings out of character, but some people just don't know how to separate it. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran or you're brand new. There's going to be some people that get out of character upset and then just say, oh, it's, you know, it's just RP. Well, we know, like, we know you're upset. Like, it's not, it is what it is. And, you know, I'm not saying I'm not guilty of that.
Same, yeah.
I've been there, but as long as you remind yourself over and over again that you're literally playing a video game.
You're playing a video game, You're just
for the most part, yeah. As long
you're
as
trying to have fun, you know. You're trying to
Yeah.
branch off from the real world and just enjoy time with your friends and make those connections and just have a good time.
Yeah, we're not a huge gang conflict group, but
100% same.
I'm with
but
Cloudy.
again,
That I prefer meetings. Like you guys.
I
Like, you guys like
love
having
meetings.
Oh, don't say that, bro. Nah.
That's like our 5th meeting of the day. No,
bro. The thing is, man, especially if you have the right meetings, because the right meetings could lead to conflict in a good way, right?
Man, we just had a recent meeting with the Lost, man. We just had a recent meeting with the Lost, and they opened so many doors for us, and it was just like stuff like that is what really like makes me want to, you know, wake up the next day and be like, damn, I really love RP. Like, I'm ready for the day. It's stuff like that, man, where I can just vibe with groups like the Lost. They're such a fun group, man. Cap likes meetings.
No, but listen, like the meetings are fun because it's with a group that I enjoy taking the meetings with.
Exactly.
But like it's become this running joke that like we've become a meeting simulator.
We suffer from it too, bro.
Where it's
Bro,
like
we had to make a rule within our group where 40 minutes is the cutoff. If we could be in the middle of the most intense discussion, and if it's 40 minutes, okay, break off and go do something else because we would
need
have
that.
2-hour
We need
meetings
that, man.
sometimes.
Yeah, I think today kind of spiraled the last meeting after what happened at the mansion. We were just standing and screaming at each other. And we were like backpedaling, and I was like, "Why are we saying the same thing for the 7th time?"
Well, I seen that Tony kind of touched base on it and was like, kind of trying to organize it a little bit to where capos have a say, but the bosses, like the 3 bosses, have the most say, etc. So we're working on that, right? Like we're a new group, so it's gonna be
we need more.
It's gonna be a lot of
discipline and stuff
trial
like
and
that.
error.
It's too much chaos.
I mean,
right
it's
now.
been good though, man. Like
but it's still like if we want the authentic, like
there's gotta be,
you know, like the
there's
mob
gonna
feeling to it. Then it's gonna have to be a bit more serious and a bit more professional during the meetings, because now it's like what I said, like in game. I don't think. Oh yeah, you weren't there, Scotty. But like, said we should start playing bingo. Someone gets knocked out. That's one. You know, if someone sidebars, that's one. Like we're all gonna get bingo.
Yeah.
But all right, hey, real quick, we got 30 minutes left. I want to move on to the 3.5 discussion before the end of the podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
Or 3.1 according to Coil.
Oh, is that what it's going to be? 3.1?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a preliminary patch before 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And that is confirmed for tomorrow.
Wait, so it's not 3.5 tomorrow?
It's not 3.5.
He said on his stream that it's not a 3.5, that it's more like a 3.1.
That's crazy. That's crazy though, because I mean they mentioned so many new changes that it
Yeah,
feels
so
like it's like a
let's run
halfway
down
point.
the bullet point of. So I'm looking at this Reddit thread that kind of someone summarized a bunch of the things that were mentioned. We're just going to kind of run through it.
Fully updated.
So there is going to be a bunch of new restaurants, and they're going to be removing food from convenience stores. So now, if you want food, you have to RP for food. You cannot get food from an NPC anymore.
I'm fine with that.
Good. Fuck the
I'm fine with
grinders.
that too, but man, when I watch some streams, there's some people that have not bought food from a person ever in 3.0. I'm not even joking you. There are some people that literally live off of sandwiches.
I enjoy going to restaurants, man. There's so
same.
much RP to just be there, man. You walk in the burger shop and it's just all hell breaks loose.
Yep. So honestly, that is a change I am super excited for. I think making restaurants a mandatory requirement is going to be great. I think that's going to be really cool. So they're adding 2 new restaurants, the Uwu Cafe and the Maldini's Pizzeria.
Maldini's.
I'm interested to see if they rework how the food buff systems work in the city, if there's still going to be food buffs, all that type of stuff. Personally, I kind of wish that food buffs didn't exist, and that instead of you needing a beef dish to hunt, you could just go hunt, and you didn't need a beef dish necessarily. You know, I don't necessarily
it would
know.
make more sense to like get better bait, right? Like if you want to catch more, maybe you buy better bait, not just one bait. That would make more sense.
Well, I see.
or buy like a musk or something, right?
Yeah,
I see why it makes sense though, because the reason why they want you to go get food buffs is to create RP for the restaurants and the people that works there.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can't buy
then you would
food,
just stay there silent.
That's true.
yeah, but if you can't make food, or if you can't buy food from a 24/7, then you kind of have to give food role
Food
play.
buzz makes sense though. I think the food buzz makes sense. Like the burger that takes away your stress. I mean, I eat a burger; it calms me right down. I've passed the fuck out.
Sure, yeah. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking more like the hour buffs that certain food gives you, like the hunting.
Stress, like I mean, like they're stress eaters, which I mean, you know, Illusion there just admitted that he's a stress eater. You know, that's a thing. But like, man, I haven't ever eaten some goddamn ramen and suddenly do everything a whole lot better than I do anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why, like, for hunting,
You're eating at the wrong ramen.
Oh my bad.
Yeah, you're eating the wrong ramen, man.
Like if you're hunting, better bait. If you're fishing, better bait or better pole. You know, like those things would make more sense to me.
100%.
What if the other people at Dean's World could sell stuff like that? What if you could buy a fishing pole from a vendor there, and their fishing pole like might be a better fishing pole than the one you can get, you know, at the regular store or some shit. You know, it'd be cool.
I'm not a fan of tiered progression systems like that because it invalidates the previous tier. Like if you if there was
metal detecting literally does that.
Yeah, but there's people who literally just only buy the good metal detector. Like that's why the difference between an MX the MX 500 is worth. Yeah, but I mean, like the MX 500 is worth $500, and the MX 1000 is worth $7 or $8K or whatever, because the good one is the only one people want or care about. No one uses a 500 at all. Period. If you're gonna go metal detect, you use the good one.
Yeah,
It'll be the same way with fishing. If you want to go fishing, you use the good one. If you want to go hunting, you use
maybe just
the
better
good
bait.
The
Then,
200 is literally like a
better fishing
grand.
bait.
The 200 is literally like a grand at the
I'm just
fucking.
saying, it makes more sense
Mega
than
Mall.
buying ramen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I like things when it makes sense, and it's like it's a role play effective thing. I love the idea of businesses being able to have like food that has a reason for you to go and get it, and it drives the RP to you. Like now you have a reason to come in here and buy my food. I also like it when it's a sensible buff. Like, I don't think eating some venison suddenly makes me a better hunter. You know. I would love it if it'd be like you could go to the hunting place and it's like, hey, we have you have bait already that you can get better animals, but hey, do you want to have a better chance of hitting them? Here's a different scope. It allows you to have like progression, and of course, people don't want to like deal with progression. So people who have the money and have done what they can will just buy the last level of progression that they can. But at least it makes like a role play sense. Like it's so hard to explain to somebody, hey, be sure to go and eat that sushi so that you catch sharks.
Yeah. Well, the other oh no, I lost my train of thought. Where were we?
Oh, dude,
food buffs.
Before you
Food buff.
continue, I really got a dip because something came up. But hey, Flo, Done. Thank you for coming on. I've had super fun, and I hope you've enjoyed your stay. I'm sorry, I really gotta go. Hey,
you're good, man.
Appreciate you, Jay.
Hi.
No problem. Take it easy, Cap. Take it easy.
Oh, stop it, Cap. What are you doing,
Jesus
Cap?
Christ.
Stop
Yeah, I
it.
see why
See
he's
you in the
got to go
streets,
now,
Bobby.
man.
See you in the streets, Bobby.
Oh man. Oh,
Yeah, we're
it's war.
definitely going
It's
to
war.
war.
All right. Peace out.
Pull
guys.
my gun the
I,
moment I
I,
see
I
you. No
remember
talking.
where I was. I had a question about, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't build anything at Willie's if anybody has run like market stalls. But if there's no sandwiches available at the store, what do you think they're going to do to change that mechanic where you buy sandwiches and turn them into whatever you want for your store?
Man,
You don't buy sandwiches. You buy ingredients.
Oh, you don't.
Yeah, you buy ingredients.
Oh, you buy ingredients. I didn't know that. Okay, fair.
Yeah, you buy ingredients and then you
issue
make it in the restaurant.
with Dean World, and just like to point out, because I hope this changes in 3.5 or tomorrow for the update, whatever it is. Dean World, there's no individuality and identity between the businesses.
Yes.
It's like you go up to one and it's like, hey,
They all
what do
sell
you
the same
sell?
shit.
Everything.
The same shit. It's the same coffee. It's the same food. It might look different. It might have a different name. It might have a different price. But it does all the same shit. I agree 100%.
And it's the same thing. It's like if you go up to a business that's out there at the booth and it's like a, I'm trying to think of one, but I'll just use one of Thomas's businesses. I put Apex out of the booth for some reason. Now Apex is selling food. Where there's security guards and fucking gun trainers. Why would they sell food? Why are they selling cigarettes? Why do they have first aid kits? Why do I have all this shit at a security business? Like, what it doesn't make sense. Like it should be. It's role play, so my business should be offering its services there and nothing more than that. It takes away, exactly. But money. It takes away the identity of your business, but it's also hard to compete because there's someone at some point decided to do an all-encompassing business, and now you're losing everything to them. So you got to compete.
Yep.
I wish all these businesses who have stuck at Dean World and could progress could actually just get something that they sell for themselves that is so individualistic and good.
Even one thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Would be,
Now that you mention it, what do you guys think about this idea? What if the more you sell, you know how there's a rep system for pushing drugs on the street?
Yeah.
And you get more money as the rep. What if you had a rep system for your booth? And then, as the rep went up, the buff that your food gave was a little bit better for the person that consumed it, right? So coffee might
then
last
no one would ever go to a low rep booth. People would literally just walk up, see that there's nothing but low rep booths, and leave. They wouldn't even buy anything from the low rep booth.
Yeah, true.
It would be.
Yeah, there's definitely. I definitely think I definitely like the idea of the booths. At least the booths that have been around for a while and have kind of made a name for themselves. At least get one like individual item that is, because I mean, you've seen stuff that gets implemented, right? Like the RP drug that just got implemented.
Yeah.
You know, if they had like a dev or something that kind of helped with the booths, because the booths do need a little bit more love, right? Like they're a very key aspect in the farmers market and Dean World RP. And Dean World RP, if there's a lot of people there, creates more RP for the music scene. So it kind of flows into everything. So yeah, man, I really wish they would implement something like just maybe even one item, and down the road, if it goes well, work
I'm gonna
something out.
pitch something here, right? I don't like to hold on to things. I like to pass stuff along to other people so they can role play it out. Like Thomas got Bahama Mamas. I did events for it, made $100,000-$200,000, and I handed it off to another role player who I saw that they love like the aspect of clubbing, like that whole mentality, like they had it right. Now she runs the casino hotel. Like she's taken that role play and has became a CEO boss bitch. And I love it. It's great.
Oh yeah.
But it does not make sense for my confirmed business that has a location to have to go to the booth to make any sort of money. And then when we're there, what would a nightclub sell at a booth other than like maybe some novelty items? But nobody wants to buy a whole bunch of novelty items. So the business will just dry up and then my business doesn't make money. And so, I should sell alcohol. Well, no, you can only sell alcohol at your business, but none of my alcohol actually gives anyone a boost. And no one wants to support a non-beneficiary thing. Like if you don't receive a benefit from it, my experience from everyone on the server is that they're not going to support it enough to make it an actual action, a profitable, or much less just an actual RP hub. They'll do it for like a week and then they'll be like, oh, I'm done.
I'm done. You know, is what it is. On to the next one.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I definitely agree, man. Like, and I'm hoping tomorrow because there's supposed to be some more stuff for Civs. I love Civ RP because like it just brings so much immersion to the city. Like Civs are very what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like they're very underappreciated.
They're
They
underappreciated and they're a necessity that we're losing.
Yeah, 100%. Because if we don't have civs, the city just it's crims versus cops at that point. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's
So hey,
versus cops.
real
Yeah,
quick,
exactly.
back to the mention of food. People don't interact with food that doesn't benefit them, right? So that I think comes down to kind of the direction the server when it goes in, right? Like if the server wants to move in kind of a more MMO-ish direction where kind of everything has a mechanical purpose and everything kind of has like a gameplay loop that keeps you moving and keeps you doing this and that, then I think that adding unique buffs to everything is mandatory, right? Because at the end of the day, if the server is essentially moving towards an MMO, why would you ever do anything that doesn't benefit you mechanically? Because at the end of the day, you're playing a game where your mechanical benefits are the point. Now, alternatively, if we were focused more on a narrative thing, then your character would drink alcohol because they want to get drunk, not because the alcohol gave them any particular mechanical benefit. And I think that's where things kind of get lost in the weed, is that we're kind of straddling the line between either fully committing to the MMO style mechanical focus or pulling back and committing to a more narrative, logical focus. And I think that's where I think choices need to be made. And looking at the second bullet point of this 3.1 update list, I think that choice has been made. The second bullet point says restaurants will now have a lot more choices on what they make and the food buffs that they provide. The actual restaurant mechanics on how food will be made is changing as well. So I think that means they're kind of leaning more towards the food buff system, which is fine.
Does
I
that
mean,
apply to Boost too, or just those new restaurants opening up?
I'll skip a couple lines here. Civ jobs. Dean mentioned that there will be a bunch of changes. Civ jobs are going to be removed and new jobs added to the city. There's a good chance that after this update, booths will not exist in the form that they exist right now. So
are these official patch notes?
No,
Aaron,
this is a collection of stuff that a Redditor made based on based on what people have said on their streams. He kind of like collected a bunch of different snippets and kind of put together like unofficial patch notes essentially.
Like I said, man, I just pray that civs get love, man, because like I said, it's they are very essential to the server. Whether you look at it in a whether you want to look at it that way or not, they're essential, man.
Well, this is something I've said a lot, is that at the beginning of 3.0, civs were a focus, right? There was a credit system on taking loans where civs, people specifically who had clean records, no violent felonies, had special benefits that criminals did not have. And that meant that you had a very specific incentive. You had a line in the sand. No violent felonies. If you commit a violent felony, you take a step over that sand, you are now a hard crim. If you don't cross that line, you're a civilian, you have special benefits, way better loans, way cheaper interest rates. You're able to get jobs at places that only allow people that haven't crossed that line. And at some point early in 3.0, that line was just thrown away. I don't know when, where, or why that happened, but...
Actually, as the person who played Deputy Mayor, I can tell you where that line got removed.
Okay.
Fast loans was set up to where they, were very, they had a lot of regulations, which was they couldn't have criminals working for them. They had like a particular requirements for people to get loans from them, and they could only give loans for property-based things, no personal cash loans, nothing like that. Casino opens up. Diamond Hand Loans is introduced. Diamond Hand Loans has no restrictions. Criminals can work for them. You don't have to be a criminal. You don't have to be a civ to get a good loan. And at first, they didn't even give a shit about whether or not it was personal cash or a property. They could even lie. You could just tell them, oh, it's for a car. They wouldn't check up with it and give you a loan. It completely removed the requirement of actually deciding whether or not you were going to commit to a particular lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And so what happened was Fast Loans has all these requirements, and then all these players are like, man, that's so much shit that I have to deal with. And then they have Diamond Loans that goes, hey, you don't need any of that. So of course, everyone gravitates to the option that it's not required to do anything.
Yeah.
And it became a huge issue. Like I remember Fast Loans coming to Thomas and having these complaints, and then trying to introduce these complaints, and the response was, "Can't do anything for you. Sorry. Like we can't dictate how a business runs a business. Sorry. Like I don't know what to say." It's also like the following problem was that majority of the staple businesses that help the cash flow of the city, the economy, all ended up being prim ran.
That was the
prim oriented, you know.
Yeah, whenever you would walk into Burger Shot and see like 4 Vagos manning the counter, like hardened criminals with dozens of violent felonies, like that's when I kind of knew that whole mindset from early 3.0 was just gone. And like I feel like that's something that would heavily so right now when you look at your average civilian on NoPixel, they're not a civilian, they're a soft crim. They're a criminal who isn't out there committing obvious crimes all the time. And those are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. But I feel like the role of a actual hard civilian, a non-criminal at all, someone who only commits like misdemeanors and shit, is a role that is just virtually non-existent. And I think that's because it's not well supported. And I think that if things were changed in such a way to incentivize people to actually not have a record, if there was some benefit to not having a record, then I think that more people would do it. And as it stands right now, it's like the only benefits to not having a record are you can be a lawyer or a cop. And that's like it. And it's like, so I feel
Imagine getting paid more at Burger Shop because you're not a criminal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That'd be something cool, yeah.
Or like at a booth, like even then.
Your guns and ammunition are free. You could just walk in and just get a free gun and ammunition.
Yep.
Or the interest rate on your loan for a car is 0%.
Benefits to want to be a civ. There's just no benefit to be a civ.
Clothes are cheaper, all that shit. That's the thing. There should be benefits, and a lot of it revolves around money. Like civs have to grind quite a bit to make the same money that a crim can make selling meth for an hour, right?
Yeah.
Like they would have to grind all fucking day.
It all comes to balancing, man. I mean,
it
all comes to balancing. You got to have. I definitely feel like there needs to be some type of balance between crims and civ and even cops, man. The cops don't get paid shit. Like, let's be real. I mean, I've heard numbers from like $600 an hour to like $1,000 an hour, which is not a lot of money, right? Like, there's gotta be some type of balance, in my opinion, especially for like cops and civ. Like Bobby said, I mean, you could fling meth for an hour and make so much money, especially if you have dirty cash. You could just make an outstanding amount of money, and there's no incentive like that for cops or civilians. So it's
I'm sorry, I just want to put this out. Somebody in chat said they played a civ for 5 months, and essentially you just gate-kept yourself, right?
Yep.
That is
that's Walter Malone.
Yeah, yep. Walter's been a civ for, like you said, 5 months. He's been a civ for a while.
He's been playing a hardcore civ longer than anybody I've seen on the server.
Yep.
And just recently started dipping into crim shit.
I tried, like 3 weeks. As Thomas, I was like, I'm gonna be deputy mayor. I'm gonna become mayor, and then I'm gonna do that. And I tried, and then as deputy mayor, I did one thing that was like, oh, okay, Andy. To my character's appearance, Andy looks corrupt, and I'm going to, as a good deputy mayor who's trying to be, a law-abiding citizen who cares about the city, cares about civilians and clean individuals. I'm gonna bring this up, and we're gonna start an investigation. Less than like 10 minutes of that happening, the news that Thomas had already talked to Pred about this had been leaked to Andy, And then there was an assassination contract on Thomas for $125,000. And then it was like Dean suddenly hates Thomas because Thomas doesn't, like what Andy's doing. I haven't even made a decision of where I was going to go. And then suddenly my character is targeted by every criminal who has a connection to one individual. And trying to stay clean and do just clean things. The roleplay was hard because you had to constantly generate it yourself. Nobody brought you roleplay. You just took roleplay to people, and they took it, and you gave, and you gave, and they took it, and they took it, and they took it, and then maybe they'd give you something. If it wasn't like you getting robbed, taken hostage, or shot, right? And so you just get tired of it all the time. You just go, fuck it, I'm gonna go be a criminal. Like, this isn't fun.
You know what, Dunn? Speaking of like how fast word travels, that's exactly what I did. Was last night I logged onto the server out of character and just made one phone call.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see like how fast that word would come to like our group on stream, right? And before, it hadn't even been 12 hours, and in somebody's meta chat somewhere, like I got the screenshot sent to me, but somebody was like, whoa, Dick did this? You know what I mean? And it was like not even 12 hours later, and it like both streamers off stream, so it's like nobody, it was a private conversation.
Right.
But immediately word traveled, which is awesome. But it's one of the perks of Los Santos, but it sucks when you're trying to,
trying to build anything.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I hope, just kind of summarize that part of the conversation, more focus on giving civs a reason to be a civ would be something that I really hope comes either for 3.1 or 3.5 or 3. Whatever. Some type of incentive to not have a record, I think would be really awesome. And I think that even if it's something as artificial as if the system, when you go to do something, the system will say, does have violent felonies? Yes, then X. It doesn't have violent felonies, then Y. Like you get special perks and benefits. Like items are cheaper for you. You get this and that. Like even if it's as artificial as that, I think that would be awesome.
Imagine the fishing, right? You do one fishing job, it pays you $1,200. Imagine if that was a $2,400 job if you didn't have
That would be amazing.
Exactly.
That'd be amazing. I don't think anybody would be mad at it either. I mean, it just it makes people want to be civs, and it makes the city more alive. To be honest, I mean, civs
and it helps give those new people an easier way to get settled into the city, right? Somebody who's brand new to the city, who's not a criminal yet. Maybe they will be someday, but they're not there yet. They're still just a civilian. They haven't committed any violent felonies yet. And, it gives them a way to kind of get their foot in the door, build up a foundation, get used to things, and then decide to commit to being a criminal by crossing that line. You got that hard line in the sand. And you say, you know what? Today I'm becoming a criminal. I'm going to do this or that. And
you very rarely see like a straight civilian character driving like a $500,000 car. Like, I mean, sometimes Kevin Ram's a great example. If anybody knows who Kevin Ram is in the server or watches him,
I love
he
Kevin.
is just dabbling in crime now, but for 8-9 months since 3.0 started, he's been straight civ, and he's rich as shit because he's committed to it and he grinds it every day, and he's really smart about his money. But it's like, even it's just so hard to justify buying a $500,000 car unless you're like, well, I could rob a bank tomorrow and make $40,000.
Yeah.
It's like, my payments do. Dick Chicklets as a character, a lot of the time it'll be like, I have $25,000 in loan payments in 2 days. I'm like, well, then I don't have to make money for at least another 40 hours because I can make that money in literally 6 hours if I really wanted to. And civs can't do that.
And nobody's saying like, robbing a bank should be equivalent to fishing. Like nobody's saying that. They're just saying like we're just saying as a whole that that basically civs need some type of benefit, right? They need some type of benefit to be a civ. They need some type of incentive.
Yeah.
Like the fishing thing was a really good idea.
At the end of the day, being a civilian should get unfair benefits because it's so hard to do
100%.
and because the role
100%.
of a civilian is often to give a lot of role play to other people without getting much in return. So the benefit to the fact that you're often just a prop for a lot of role play for other people is that you get these unfair advantages that other people who are criminals wouldn't get. And it's kind of like a balancing thing, right?
I honestly think when it comes down to, and I don't know if they do favor this or not, I'm just probably speaking out of turn, but if you need like some construction for a business, let's say you run a booth, you finally make an application for construction, I feel like that should be something looked at. Like, what's this person do? Are they a criminal and this is their side hustle, or is this their job? Oh, this is their job? Okay, let's grant it to them because they're clearly committed, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad that that's why I'm glad that Uwood Cafe is a thing too, right? Because Ash has been putting in a lot of work for that. But I also feel like there's a lot of people like I think Gary Shawwow, who plays Gary Rose.
It would be awesome.
He's been working really hard on the gym stuff, and it's like it sucks because he's
supposed to get a gym as part of the Chain Gang VLC stuff.
Yeah, so he's supposed to get some type of gym, but he wanted one down by the beach, and I mean he's been working like people like that who's been working so hard to try to build something, and then I'm glad he got Prio, by the way. We never really talked about the
yeah.
But
he did get Prio.
But yeah, so people like that, like 100% agree with Flo, like should be looked at more in terms of like, oh, this guy's been doing this work for this long, and you know his construction's still way at the bottom of the list. Well, let's bump that up a little bit, similar to, I guess, kind of Prio, right? I mean, how hard you're working, how hard you're RPing for that business. If somebody's not RPing hard and trying to work hard to get that business, then they're going to be lower on the construction list than say somebody that's been working basically like a 9-to-5, working their ass off to try to make this a reality, you know?
Yeah, but all right.
You've seen Coils clip him talking about Prio, basically like checking people's Prio live, and he even said himself, I have to check more because you see these people on the server like Booba, you see him on the server all the time.
Yeah.
You would never know the fucking guy doesn't have Prio. You just assume, oh, this guy has some sort of Prio.
That's exactly what I've been saying about Low Cap, is that the reason he doesn't have Prio is because people don't realize he doesn't have Prio.
Wait, he doesn't have Prio?
I know, right? That's like there's literally not a single person on the server I can think of that deserves it more than Cap. Like, he's such a prominent character. Literally everyone knows him. Like, I mean, no offense to anyone else.
So hated, man.
Dude, no offense to anyone else, but I can't think of anyone else more like
been here for 2 years, man,
as big and important as him that doesn't have Prio. Like, the only reason he doesn't have it is because people haven't realized that he doesn't have it. The second someone does a Prio check on Cap and realizes he's at 1, they're instantly going to raise him because he's the perfect candidate for it. So I mean, it is what it is.
I actually was the same thing Little Cap did, man. I was on for like 2.0 around all the time doing stupid shit, you know, narrating people as Morgan Freeman, just creeping around and telling the stories.
Oh, that's good, man.
Oh, thank you. And everyone just assumed I had Prio for a long ass time. Until finally, I forget who it was, but they introduced Nikita and other people as like Civ-based role players that could like find people that needed Prio. Then I got a Prio bump, and then I got recommendations and etc. and got more and more Prio. It was great, but no one knew I didn't have Prio until they finally just looked, because I was constantly on that. I'm hitting that queue the moment it resets. I'm on it. I'm getting it.
Can you do me a favor really quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Can you do the Morgan Freeman voice one more time, but say, I can smell you?
Well, I can smell you creeping around. Titty sprinkles.
If you know where that's from, then you know.
Man. Yeah,
you know.
Love it.
Oh, that's really good. But hey, let's work through the rest of this list real quick. We're already kind of at time, so let's just go through here. So we already kind of talked about the food and Civ stuff. Banks. There will be more significant repercussions to doing banks as you do bigger banks. I don't know if that means harsher jail times, fines.
Fines are getting raised.
Yeah, that's the next bullet point. Hold on, we'll get to that.
Raised.
So I don't know if that means, or if there will be some NPC additions to bigger banks similar to Bobcat.
That would be cool.
So class 2 weapons now will show on your back if you have them in your possession. There has also been some confirmation.
All class 2.
And I'm assuming that's AKs included in that.
I was wondering like a Scorpion.
Yeah, like a little SMG.
Were AKs considered class 3 back in 2.0?
No, it was
No, I don't
class
think
1s
so.
and class 2s, but you considered like ARs were like just considered their own class.
3, okay.
From my understanding, the class 1 and class 2 was always if it had a full auto mode or not. Class 1 didn't have full auto, class 2 did have full auto. That was always the differentiator, I
I
thought.
was never a big never had big boy guns like that in 2.0. I was kind of like low.
Who'd you play in 2.0, man?
I played B Rabbit, which I used to fuck around with like ESB a lot back in 2.0, which I will not talk about that because obvious. Yeah, and then I played Scotty at the very end, but he was a snitch instead of like a gangster with a capital F like he is now. He was a snitch, and he would go around and get in these friend groups. I even had a rap battle with some of the guys who are around now, like Larry and Jack and some other people like that. I had a rap battle as Scotty, and it was fun, man. But he would get in these friend groups and basically kind of rat them out per se. And I'm glad that they had kind of like a reset at 3.0 because I prefer this route with Scotty a lot more because it's silly to see somebody like that kind of crim based versus the standard snitch stuff. So I'm glad I moved away from that with Scotty. But yeah, it was mainly B Rabbit, man. I kept to myself. Like I said, I usually hung out with people in ESB and stuff like that. That's how I knew Jack from back then and Larry. They're two good guys, man. I really like Jack and Larry a lot. But yeah, I was a who kind of in 2.0.
Yeah. But all right, hey, let's keep this moving. Let's keep this moving because we're already at time. So so Banks, there's going to be more repercussions, possibly NPCs. Class 2 weapons will now show on your back. I think that's a really good change. I think if there's some type of bag you can hide them in that takes longer to draw or something, I think that would be cool. New PD weapons, they will have M14s, and Crims will have a Dragunov, which is kind of like a sniper rifle. So it's not really like a true sniper rifle where you can snipe from like a million miles away.
Like a FAL.
Yeah, but
like
it's kind of more like a DMR with like a pretty decent scope on it. Definitely a very long range gun, and it's supposed to be pretty rare. So I'm really excited to see Chain Gang wipe the PD with 6 Dragunovs. Like 3 or 4 days after 3.1. That's gonna be really exciting. I'm super hyped to see that.
I mean, a lot of people still don't even know about the damn rocket launchers that are in the city, right?
I can imagine there's gonna be 2 people in the vault holding hostages, and then everyone else in Chain Gang just on the roofs.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh man,
that sounds sick. So new PD Charger supposedly takes the place of the way the current interceptors are used on patrol. Interceptors are only supposed to be authorized for use in specific circumstances. So I don't see that happening. That'll be real cool for the first week when they do it, and then week 2 when interceptors are back on patrol. I guess we'll just have more better cars around. Drugs. It says sounds like there will be big changes to how drugs are made and transported, but it doesn't say too much more than that. I'm all for a big drug shakeup because I feel like drugs are kind of the backbone of criminal money making. And I think it would be really fun to shake things up and even if it's just different for the sake of being different, I think it would be really refreshing.
Labs easy to steal, bro. That's what
I mean. What if private labs just didn't exist at all or something?
Man. Let me do something up north other than these $60 weed bags, man. Please. Give us something
I
up
kind of
north.
agree with that. I think
Give us
private
some
labs
love.
shouldn't even be a thing. Just like how I kind of feel. Okay, this might get into some territory where, controversial territory. Like I don't think private labs should exist, and I also think benches should go to groups that aren't like huge gangs, like directly affiliated with crime.
I don't even like benches, man, to be honest. I
think benches should be with groups that distribute to everyone equally. Because I just think that's
how it's supposed to be. I mean, I've heard Flippy
for obvious reasons.
It was Vinny said that they don't really care if they're going to war with somebody; they'll still sell guns to them. So I mean, I'm pretty sure they're doing that. They just like.
Well,
they're very,
that's not the
obviously low-key
problem.
about
The
it.
problem with someone having a bench going to war isn't that they cut off the enemy. It's that they have access to to extremely cheap and plentiful weapons. It's not, that's something I see said a lot is, oh, well, I'm in war and I have a bench, but I'm going to sell to my enemy. No, the problem is that you can print unlimited AKs and they have to like set up a coordinated time and date and do a drop off and pay cash and blah, blah, blah. Like there's all these holes they have to jump through. Whereas you can just walk up to a thing and press E for gun. Like that.
A perfect example of that is in 2.0, they had Fairlight Excalibur played a character who basically just played the field. He was like a Littlefinger.
Yeah,
he would do things for a bunch of different groups with no favoritism. He was just if a war broke out, he was going to make money. He knew that.
Yeah,
right?
in a perfect world, that's
how.
how it would be done. You would find unaffiliated third parties who don't go to war, and they would have the benches. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, a group having a bench is a tool that they can use to be powerful and just be a bigger, better gang, right? Like CG having their own bench makes them a harder foe to fight in war, and that's just something that they have. That's just a benefit of them and their power. So like it's just an inherent strength of theirs. Like I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with it, even if it's not ideal in my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what a resolution to.
I don't necessarily think that that's something that needs to be fixed per se. Like
I guess.
Like it's just another reason you don't go to war with CG. I guess
Yeah, I agree with what Dunn said in chat though. Like at private labs, if they were easier to steal.
So if I had to come up with a solution for meth labs, I would make it to where there's no public labs. All the labs are private, but the keys decay at maybe the same rate as a gun, right? So that maybe after a couple weeks the key falls apart and you lose your private lab, and there's some type of system where new keys are kind of randomly given out. Maybe there's an NPC you talk to once a day, and it's like the wheel, right? Where as more people go to it, the chances change over time more and more and more and more until eventually someone gets that key and then the changes go back to low. And it keeps ramping up slowly, you know what I mean? And that essentially so to ensure that the private key is constantly cycling, who owns what lab is constantly changing. If you get a lab, it's only temporary. You're going to have it for a while, but then it's going to change. I think that would incentivize a couple things. It would make cooks more important because cooks would be cycled back and forth between groups, depending on who has control of the lab. Let's say, the stable has a good cook, but you no longer control a lab. Well, now your cook could be a bargaining chip that you could offer some other group who does control the lab. They could use your cook, and then that would let you kind of get your foot in the door and build business relationships and that type of stuff. I feel like if there was only private labs and then those keys were constantly cycling, there's a bunch of ways you could make those keys constantly cycle, but I think the keys constantly cycling would be would lead to really good roleplay. I think.
The only problem I have with that is if somebody, your group. So Aaron, you get a key. No Illusions gets a key. Next week, Cloudy gets a key. Next week, Dunn gets a key. Next week, I get a key. So now we have 5 people know the location of that lab. What's stopping me from losing my key and then me sitting there and waiting for Aaron
camping
to get
you
again,
out
and just waiting for you to fucking walk out of that lab and me pop you?
I would prefer. What if you could just break into private labs like you break into banks? Like, what if you just brought some fucking thermite?
That would
the door
be cool.
open.
I mean, the answer to your
private-
question is don't get caught lacking. Have fucking lookouts and shit. Like, take your cooks seriously, right? Like, you should.
Yesterday, we rob a bank. We decide to put 4 people on the outside and 2 in the bank, and we get rolled up on by CG with 6 guys. So like, it all depends on how the situation plays out too. Like it just it's tough. Like
but I mean, even right now, but you could make that same argument for the system right now, right? And no one does that. Like you could catch someone lacking and kill them and take their private key, but no one does that.
The reason no one does that is because the people who have the private keys have had the private keys for so long. Financially, they're so well established that going there, look, we actually have had this conversation, IC. I have gone and said, why don't we go get the key or try to get the key? Well, one, it takes forever to find out exactly the time of when the key's going to be available. It's like, it's goddamn nearly impossible to figure out when the key's going to be available to buy it. Two, going there and having that argument and that fight with the people, this is what you get faced with. Like, if you're like an analytical person, your group has been trying to figure out public labs and meth for a while. You maybe average $300,000 a week if you're doing, high max rep, it never goes down, and you're selling constantly, cooking on a regular basis, right? The other group has had a private lab where they've either been peddling out to other groups or doing big runs for so long that they've established $1 million, $2 million in that, in that thing. Yep. They have the funds to, one, if you try to go there and can't, pop them, they're just going to fight you every time you come out there again. Two, if you get the lab, every time you go there, you're caught with your pants down because they know you got to go in and cook. They just wait for you to come out, and they're going to be ready to get you.
Wouldn't that problem be solved with the keys constantly changing owners?
Yes, I'm agreeing to that. I'm saying, like, in the current situation where it is right now, you wouldn't have the ability to do what you're saying. Like, now, the conflict over a private lab
I agree 100%. Yeah, going up against a private lab owner right now is suicide. You would just... It would be pointless. Even if you got the key, you couldn't do anything with it. You would never be able to cook. You would never be able to. The most you could do is hold that key hostage and hope that they pay you to get it back.
Yeah,
that would be the most you get.
Sell it back to them.
Yeah, that would be the closest you get to a W in that situation. But if the keys were constantly changing, even if you did get clapped and your key stolen, the dude's only going to get a couple weeks out of it, right? Like, the key is constantly decaying, so it's not like it's the end of the world.
I do like the keys, like constantly decaying concept. It wouldn't be too bad.
I think it would be cool too. Though,
I like the concept.
Door, though,
I like the concept too of thermiting the door or like C4ing the door or something, something along that line, because then you got to protect that lab, right? So it's like, I like that. I like that concept too. I mean, I guess
the damn concept of the guy who sells the key moving locations all the time. That way you can't just go and find them and buy the key at the exact time that you need to get it. Like that's a small fix.
Here's something that probably can happen, but I would love for this to happen. When a meth lab gets raided by cops, like, it should be destroyed, and then another one pops up somewhere else.
I was about
that would be the
random location.
If the keys were constantly decaying and the cops came in, they would have like a button they could press that would delete that key out of whoever owns its pockets, and then that key or that lab would have no key until the timer, however long that timer was left on the key, went down to nothing, and that key was available again. That lab would be straight up unusable because no key would exist for it. And
they just need to bring RVs, man.
No, RV meth labs.
Moving meth labs, man.
Bro,
as cool as that is,
like
it's
the hunting circle. Imagine the hunting circle, but for meth labs. So like there's
That
a
would
hunting
be
circle.
sick, bro.
This is the only big ass circle you can cook with the meth lab, so people can actually go in there, look for other RVs, and actually try to. So it's risky. It's not like you just go anywhere in the map and cook safely.
That would be
there's a
sick
specific
RP,
fucking
bro.
zone, just
I
like
ain't gonna
hunting.
lie. The
That would be
moving
kinda
meth
cool.
labs
That would be
sick,
cool.
man. That'd be on my Breaking Bad shit, man. Like,
That would be dope.
Yep.
And then obviously in a meth lab, there would be. I feel like there should
Walter
be
White.
a limit. There should be a limit to your quality in terms of like
Yeah, I
RV
agree with
versus
that.
an actual
The
lab. You
quality
shouldn't-
or not the quality. I think the amount. I think the amount
the
would
amount
be the problem.
or something like that. Yeah, there shouldn't.
you
there
would
should
only
be- there
get
should be
one
perks
pillow
to
or something
having-
like that.
Yeah, there
like
should be
one
perks
bag.
to having your cook in the meth lab versus an RV, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. I think it'd be sick, man. That'd be. I'd literally feel like Walter White, man, just in an RV.
Can you imagine
moving-
that cops doing a sting operation? Like they're on the mountainside.
Dude, that would be
in the
some
distance,
sick RP,
fucking
man.
watching RVs, you know what I'm saying, do their thing. And they're like, all right.
Yeah.
And
Like,
so
it would
we've
feel
talked
like
about
RP.
meth for a while, but what about some of the other
Yeah.
drugs? Like one drug that I feel like is being criminally kind of like forgotten about right now is cocaine. Like I feel like cocaine.
Nope, I don't talk about it.
I feel like cocaine not having a way to sell it to NPCs. I don't like that at all. Like I understand why they're like, oh, we'll just sell it to people, but like
it's hard, man.
Not only that, but like there's a lot of people selling it, and it for what it does, it's kind of like too expensive for what it does, and I don't know. I feel like cocaine should just be another drug that you can sell like meth that just has a different gameplay loop attached to it, right? Like instead of having a lab.
He said cocaine is an RP drug, but like if it's gonna be an RP drug, I feel like it should have some type of like effect, like kind of similar to how the what is it called, metamorphine?
Yeah.
Like have some type of like cool something. So at least it's like a cool party drug. Cocaine literally just it gives you like 25% armor and there's like no effect. Like you don't really.
Yeah, it's like it's a prop. It's just a prop, and it's like so like no one gives a fuck about it.
I don't even care.
Like
about
it's
selling it to
weird
the
to me that the whole server is focused around meth, and then cocaine is just like the side thing that no one gives a fuck about. When like in the past, cocaine was always kind of like the big top dog drug that was hard to get into, but had kind of the biggest potential payout. It feels weird to me that cocaine is worth jack shit now, and that it's just like a prop.
I agree with that. I think cocaine should be the drug that's pushed on the north side. You know, Vinewood area.
Oh, agreed, Illusions, agreed. But it should have more functions. I don't mind it having like an NPC or like
I don't mind
NPC
that either.
stuff. I don't mind it not having it either. I just wish it wasn't so hard to get yourself attached to it. You know, our group owns the racetrack where the guy who initiates that whole mechanic is. And we tried to science it, and it's just kind of like it's such a struggle to even fuck with. I do have to leave, but I wanted to leave you guys with a thought, and how I've forgotten that thought, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we're finishing up right now, so we can go ahead and just go straight into outros. Done. If you got to head out right now, if you want to go first, where can people find you? And thank you for coming on.
Thank you. You guys can find me at twitch.tv Dunrunnin12. I got TikTok for Dunrunnin as well. Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff is about to be very active. And pretty soon, Flo and I will be starting up a D&D podcast. I think we're still
I'm excited for that.
Names and stuff, but I love the idea of something called the stable table, maybe. I
like that. I like that. Very cool.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, hey, thank you very much for coming through.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah,
All
man.
right,
I appreciate it, Done. You have a good one. All right.
Yeah, take it easy, guys.
All right, man.
You, man.
All right, Flo. Thank you for coming on again. Where can people find you?
Well, twitch.tv/FloMcNasty_TV. I'm pretty much FloMcNasty_TV everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff.
Hell yeah.
The best place, though, is Twitch. You can find me there yelling at chat, serving up ice-cold glasses of milk, and, just enjoying myself. So.
All right, perfect. No Illusions. Thank you for coming on. Where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/No Illusions. Same thing for TikTok, same thing for YouTube. And, that's about it.
Cloudy.
That's it.
Thank you for coming on. Where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/CloudyDL. I play Scotty, the IT guy. And I will be out of prison tomorrow night. Yes.
Hell yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And that should do it. My name is Aaron RP. You can find me right here. I play AA. Everyone have a good one. Thank you for coming through. Who should we host? Hey, but real quick, who should we host?
Yeah, true. Flo, you got any people?
Yeah, Flo, you're the guest. You have anyone in particular you want me to host?
Yeah. I mean, does it doesn't matter if it's part of the crew or not?
No. Anyone you want.
His name's Beerman. I'll throw it in the general chat here. His name is Beerman 155. He plays Abner Vaca, and he's a former block.
Ooh, I know him. Okay, I've met him in game a few times. He's good.
He's a trip. Yeah, he's a trip. This guy.
Beerman 155. All right, everyone, stick around for the raid. Thank you all for coming through. We will see you all again next week. Peace.
Bye.
Oh yeah, Flo. I appreciate it, man. Man, I really enjoy this podcast. It just brings
Engine drawn, blowing past you, now you're stuck in life. actually fix problems, get a city, it's a maze. Where the fuck is Autos? Fuck you so cause I be swerving left and right, yeah. Fuck you with no care, gon' leave you dead a fucking night, yeah. Fuck your ocean double local, I would do it every day, yeah. I don't care about the money, as long as the locals go away, yeah. Swerving.